Earth, Wind, and Fire. We open with the jazz classic Dancing Men, made famous by the Buddy Rich Big Band. Next, we will continue the show with a classic Santana tune, Oye Como Va. The show will close with Earth, Wind, and Fire's hit, September. The band is led on the field by drum majors Madison Smith and Mario Ardi. Color guard captain is Fallon Jacobian. This year's staff includes Chris Steller, director, Luke Darup, assistant director, Bernie Nestico, drum instructor, Joseph Rossi, assistant drum instructor, John Jacoby, assistant to the band director, Jennifer Melnick, color guard instructor, Linda Haas, assistant color guard instructor, Bernie Steller, Kelly Lucas, Erica Nestico, and Cameron Getty, music and marching instructors. We would like to thank Brett Getty, Matt Steller, the MCA School Board Administration, and especially the MCA band parents for their continued invaluable support. The band would like to recognize the late Paul Prosamichek, legendary MCA Mounties director, who wrote the brass and woodwind arrangements for portions of our show. And now we invite you to sit back and enjoy the 2024 edition of the Mount Carmel Area High School Big Red Band.
All right, I'm here with Luke Blessing. Luke, what's your position and number?
Running back, number 24.
All right, we're going to get to know you in 5 questions.
All right.
So do you prefer watching college or NFL football?
NFL football.
Why is that?
Because I like to play fantasy football.
All right. Who's your favorite artist?
Like, singer?
Yeah.
Rapper? It's Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan?
Yeah.
Good pick. Would you rather go camping or go on the beach?
Go on the beach.
You like to tan?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite subject in school? And don't say gym.
Math.
Math?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your dream vacation?
Probably like Punta Cana or something.
Punta Cana?
Yeah.
Get very tan there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Luke. I'm here with Al Bailey. What's your number and position?
I'm number 28, and I play fullback and linebacker.
All righty, we're going to get to know you in 5 questions. So would you rather go camping or go to the beach?
I'd probably rather go camping.
Yeah, you're an outdoors guy?
Yeah. Well, I don't like sand.
No?
It's scary.
Gotcha. If you could switch lives with one of your teammates for a day, who would it be and why?
Probably Ben Miller.
Why is that?
I want to know what's going on inside that kid's head.
You don't. Nobody knows?
No, so I'd like to find out.
All righty. And, okay, so this question works out. Your nickname is Snacks. What's your favorite snack?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
You can't go wrong with them.
No.
Just classic. Do you have any pre-game rituals?
No.
No?
No.
just kind of go out there and do your thing?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And what's your favorite cinnamon sticks bowls?
Oh, I don't know the name of it. What? Cold cracker, I think it's
Cold
called.
cracker?
It has like the peanut butter.
Yeah,
and
yep,
Nutella,
that one, yeah. All right, thank you, Al. All right, I'm here with Matt Belichick. Matt, what's your number and position?
My number is 2 and my position's outside linebacker.
All righty. So we're going to get to know you in 5 questions, all right?
All right.
So do you have any pregame rituals?
Not really. I just eat grilled chicken before every game, and I run 40 yards right before the game.
All right. What's your favorite cinnamon stick spool?
The coal bucket, I think it's called. It's the
All
one
right.
with the Nutella and peanut butter.
The cool cracker?
Coal
There you go,
cracker,
there you
that's
go.
what it is.
What is your biggest fear?
Spiders.
Spiders? They're my second biggest fear.
What's your biggest fear?
Probably the ocean. It's
You don't
very
mess
scary.
with
Nobody
it?
knows what's down there, honestly.
You don't mess with it?
No. What's your favorite TV show?
The Office. Or
The
Suits.
Office. Oh, Suits is a good one.
It is. Those
Get-
two are like my top two.
Especially being like a law firm family, you know?
Yeah,
It's a good movie to watch.
it is.
And who's your favorite professional athlete?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Great guy.
I loved him since I was a kid.
Okay.
He's always my favorite.
Big Penn State fan?
Yeah, big Penn State
makes
fan.
Makes sense. Thank you, Matt. I'm here with Ben Miller. Ben, what's your number and position?
I'm number 29, and I play inside linebacker.
Alrighty. So we're going to get to know you in 5 questions. What's your favorite TV show?
Probably Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Great classic
It's a
show.
great show. It's a great show.
All right. What's your Dunkin' order?
I've never been to Dunkin'.
Never
actually.
been to Dunkin'?
No, I've never been that place. Well, actually, I've had one of those cold chocolate things. They're pretty good.
They are good.
They're pretty good.
They are good. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math?
Calc specifically.
Calc.
Specifically.
Alrighty. What's your favorite snack?
Snack. Ooh. First thing that came to mind was Scooby snacks, but that's not true. So, I don't know, maybe like Dippin' Dots or something.
Dippin'
like that.
Dots?
They're pretty good.
They're great. Yeah, they are great. What movie could you watch every day?
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings?
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's a great pick, honestly. And, one more question. How does it feel to have your younger brother, Josh Miller, on the team now?
Feels all right,
All right?
He's just there.
He's just there?
Yeah, he's just there.
Get to hang out with him more now,
Yeah.
Outside of the house,
Yeah, I have to drive in places though. So,
Oh, see.
yeah.
Soon he'll be driving
Yeah,
now.
eventually.
Thank you, Ben.
time, right here, right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank next week's game sponsors, the Woodland Fire Company, the Delaney family, Mount Carmel Eagles, HBCI, Atlas Fire Company, Bumpers Beverage, Salon 42, and the Junior Red Tornadoes.
Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are, whenever, and in this case, however you may be watching. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast can also be found on WNEP Plus and WNEP2 tonight, as well as where we're usually found. And it is a Pennsylvania Heartland Athletic Conference District 4 Division 2 matchup between the 7-time defending state champion Southern Columbia Area Tigers and the winningest team in Pennsylvania, the Mount Carmel Area Red Tornadoes. Now, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Bob Bibbs Beierschmidt and family. My name's Jim Lesko. This is my brother Dan Lesko. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sideline, and together the three of us are coming to you live from Jazz Diminick Field at the Silver Bowl here in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, on the 4th week of the high school football season. Now, Dan, the two teams that are on the field tonight, the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers, may know each other better than any two teams in the state at this point, having played each other twice in 6 of the last 7 seasons.
It's incredible. You don't rarely ever get to see something like that happen.
Yep.
And that's just kind of, I mean, two of the best teams in the District 4 at the AA level. A little different this year. Mount Carmel reclassified, moves up to AAA. So this is it. And I mean, this is a rivalry game to begin with. At least over the past 6 of the last 7 years, they've had a chance. Whoever wins the regular season game or loses gets a chance to come back and get redemption. Not this year.
No, and as here we see the coin toss, so the Red Tornadoes sent out 24 Blessing, 29 Miller, Bailey, and Belichick, and the Red Tornadoes will receive, so we'll see that Red Tornado offense first. And Dan, we talked about Blessing just for a second. What else do you expect to see from that Red Tornado offense tonight?
Well, Jim, I expect to see what we've seen over the past 2.5 weeks. You know, the first week we Blessing goes down right before halftime, and we saw a steady diet of Blessing the first half against North Schuylkill. Since then, we've seen Gavin Marshalik and Jalen Delaney.
Yes.
And not to take anything away from the weeks that Cooper Karicki has had over the last 2 weeks. So we'll see a steady diet. It's a very balanced Red Tornado offense. And I think the team that wins the rushing game today is going to be the team that walks away with a victory.
That's going to be interesting to see. The Southern Columbia Tigers have been historically good for a very long time, but of course the Red Tornadoes have as well, as we've mentioned. So it's interesting to see this come down to the running game. The Tigers, again, a little younger in the backfield perhaps than they've been in years past.
Yes.
But on the defensive side, so defensively they're going to be led by number 32, Dominic Fedorov. Dominic Fedorov comes into tonight's game as a senior with 474 career tackles, which is tied for the all-time lead at Southern Columbia area, tied with who else but current Michigan State linebacker Cal Halliday.
Cal Halliday. So yeah, I mean we'll be looking here to see if Fedorov's on the kickoff team. He could get it done here real early if he is, but I don't think I see him out there.
And so as we get going here, again, for the Red Tornadoes, it's going to be the aforementioned Karicki. Karicki ran for a career high 2 weeks ago with 183 yards, and then all he did last week as an encore was run for 237.
And Jim, I mean over 2.5 weeks again, essentially we didn't really see Karicki much in the North Schuylkill game as the Red Tornadoes were down a good bit in the second half. So basically over the course of 2 weeks, Karicki's carried the ball 46 times, which is an incredible amount.
Number 39, Preston Shade will kick off for the Tigers. The other man back with Karicki is Kimsel, who's returned a punt and a kick for a touchdown in the last 2 weeks, and it'll be Kimsel from the 18. And he's got a little bit of space, and he's upended. That's going to be, looks like number 33, Gavin Brown on the stop, but it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes right around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and Jim, that patience from Kimsel is why you've seen him be so electric on those kick returns. He's got patience, but when he finds his crease, he hits it at full speed. There, great job by number 33 Brown, just kind of not giving him a crease to get through.
Marshall will start tonight in the gun. He'll be in the gun almost exclusively. Next to him is Karicki. Split wide to his left is Adams. It's Bailey and Delaney in a stack with, I believe that's Belichick out to the far side. It's Karicki up the middle. He'll be stopped right around the line of scrimmage. We'll see who gets off the bottom of the pile. That looks like number 62, Adam Barnes, who's the second leading tackler for the Tigers behind Fedorov.
Yeah, Jim, you've got some size on that Southern Columbia defensive line. They run a 4-down lineman, and they're big and they're tough. So it's going to be tough sledding up the middle here for the Red Tornadoes.
Marshall's first pass tonight is high through the hands of Delaney, incomplete. And we've played about 33 seconds here, and the Red Tornadoes are going to be facing a 3rd and long.
Yeah, now we'll see. Yeah, you know, we've talked with Coach Dara at length about it, that the quick passing game is just an extension of that run game. They want to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. They want to get the ball into Delaney's hands. Now you see Delaney's going to be in the middle of this trip set over here. See if they look to get the ball out to him.
Belichick, the lone receiver, to the top of your screen. Marshall drops back, and he's looking for Belichick. He comes might have had Belichick on the kind of the stick route there, but it'll fall incomplete, and we'll see the Red Tornado punt unit led by the punter, number 9, Max Karicki.
Yeah, Jimmy, he did have Belichick. Belichick did a good job of kind of that quick stop route, let the defensive back fly by him there. But you know, a lot of energy going into this game tonight. A lot of nerves. Let that one sail a little bit high.
Tigers will have number 23, Grady Garcia, and number 24, Braden Andrews back. Karicki, the left-footed punter, will send that in the direction of Garcia. Just take it over his head. He struggles with it, and he's stuck. Has number 12, Andrew Lukuski, on the coverage. Garcia does a good job of getting back on the football. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers inside the 20.
Yeah, that was almost a huge momentum swing there for the Red Tornadoes. Great job by Garcia just securing the ball. He took a big hit, but he secured that ball after fumbling around with it there for a second and retained possession. So we'll get to see this little bit different Southern Columbia offense than we're used to seeing.
So Southern Columbia in the wing T with a little variation. Going to be Aiden Hockenbrock, and that's going to be 24 Andrews off the right side. He'll get across to 25 and the 26. So a nice little play on first down, bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and Andrews, not a big guy, 5'8", 160-pound junior. but he is quick, Jim. He's very shifty, and he's quick. Once he gets the ball, he's at full speed, getting up into the crease there. Good job. Nice little gain there to start things off.
Hockenbrock, it's going to be, I believe that's going to be Joey Williams off the left side. And the far official seems to think he has the first down based on where he's standing.
Yeah.
And they'll move the sticks. 1st and 10, Tigers.
Yeah, and this is what we're going to see from the Tigers. 90% of the time, we're used to seeing a very, very explosive, big play Southern Columbia Tigers offense. Last week, they were very consistent running the ball. 7 carries for 60 yards, 7 for 56. Not those big, huge plays, but they're going to work the ball down the field.
And Hockenbrock's going to hit Jace Malakowski, who's a big target, out to the 35, maybe the 36, on his first pass attempt of the night.
Yeah, that's a really good job by Malakowski, because he was, there were Red Tornado defenders all around him when he reeled that one in. But you're right, Malakowski's a big kid, sophomore, 6'3", 205. He's going to be the guy that they throw the ball over the middle to.
See number 11, Travis Wengranovich, split out to the far side of the field for the Tigers. It's Gallagher in the wing to our side. And it's Andrews coming in motion. But Hockenbrock keeps it himself, and there's nowhere to go. The Red Tornado saw that coming the whole way. It's going to be Delaney and Kricky getting up off the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, and that's a really good job. Kind of like a naked bootleg there. There's a little lead blocking out there. But the Red Tornadoes did a great job just kind of staying home, not going on with the motion, and playing their gap assignment, doing their jobs. Made a nice stop.
3rd and 4, the ball right around the 35-yard line. Same look from the Tigers again. We'll stay with what works. Gallagher in motion this time across the formation. It's a sweep to that side. It's Andrews, and he's not going to get the first down. All kinds of Red Tornadoes on side. I see Kimsel getting up off the bottom. Miller was in the vicinity, as well as number 15, the freshman, Jason Clokus.
Yeah, and speaking of the freshman, Jason Clokus had a huge game last week with his first career start. 13 tackles, 3 of them in the backfield last week. So a tremendous job, in his first start as a freshman. We're just more great things to come from him. We'll see this Red Tornado punt return team.
So it'll be 4th and a long 2, we'll call it. Shadle punts for the Tigers. Again, it's Kimsel and Delaney back deep this time. It's a low snap, fielded well by Shadle. It's a low line drive punt. It's going to bounce and get through Delaney. Now, fortunately for the Red Tornadoes, it did kind of check up a little bit. I thought that was going to roll forever.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's inside the 20, and as the teams trade punts on their first possessions, the second one for the Red Tornadoes will start on their own 16-yard line.
Yeah, and again, we'll get a chance to see this Red Tornado offense. We saw him put the ball on the ground once with very little success, but we talked about it last week. Cooper Kricky carried the ball 26 times, and Michael Kimsel carried it 17 times. Right. So they're not going to shy away from putting the ball in the hands of their playmakers on the ground. They're just going to have to find ways to kind of combat this really tough front 7 from the Tigers.
So that front 5 for the Red Tornadoes, they go Delaney, Spears, Demko, as they hand off to Kricky. And Kricky's got a little space. He's still on his feet. A nice job out to the 30. And it's Shiganowski and Shimko on the right side of that line just to finish off that offensive line.
Yeah, right where Kricky ran behind to get that one started. Those 2 big guys on the right side. Really nice job there starting things off.
There's the quick pass, and it's incomplete. Marshall tried to get that to Bailey, but it got batted at the line.
Yeah, it was number 43 for the Tigers, Chase Williams, coming off of that defensive end spot, did a really good, and that's what these Tigers defenders, the edge rushers, are going to have to do. Marshall and Coach Dara's scheme, it's made for him to get the ball out of his hands really quick. So you're not going to get there a whole lot, but if you can get a chance to just get your hands up, you have a chance at knocking something down.
Marshall's going to get it out to Delaney. Gets a good block from Belichick, another good one from Bailey, and does a little fancy footwork of his own to get across the 35. It'll bring up 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, that block from Belichick on the inside was huge there, because I think if Belichick doesn't get that block there, there's a chance that ball gets batted down or possibly goes the other way.
Now, if you're not typically spending your Friday nights with us, you'll notice the Red Tornadoes tend to run a no-huddle offense. That's pretty standard here in our neck of the woods. And it's Karicki, and he's going to get upended by number 7, Martino. And there is going to be a first down, okay.
Yep. Yeah, really good job there by Karicki, knowing where the sticks were, didn't try to do too much, knew where he had to get to, and got the first down.
So again, the Red Tornadoes won't huddle, but they'll, you hear that referred to as like a muddle huddle sometimes,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
The Red Tornadoes are going to get up on the line of scrimmage and then kind of look to the sideline. Marshall straight back. He wants Adams, and it's incomplete. There's contact in the middle of the field, and the far side official is going to throw the flag. So the Red Tornadoes should see themselves pick up some yardage there.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, that ball was out there, made for Adams. That's a legitimate post route. You know, you run to the post and then you flatten out down the seam right when you get to the hash marks. Marshall threw a beautiful ball. Adams attempted to flatten that out, but the pressure coming from the back there is what slowed him down, and that's going to get the pass interference call here.
And that's what it'll be, pass interference against the Tigers. And here at the high school level, that's a 15-yard flag, as opposed to a spot foul, but nevertheless, it'll put the Red Tornadoes in Tiger territory for the first time tonight. 6:47 remaining here to scoreless ball game.
And we'll see. Marshall with a couple completions on this drive. The run game's starting to look better. Hopefully the Red Tornado offense is able to settle in here.
Marshall to Karicki again. He's going to bounce to the outside, and if he can get the edge, he can scoot, but we'll temper our expectations here as there's a flag in the Red Tornado backfield that's likely to negate the long run.
Yeah, yep. And you see the head referee bringing everybody back.
Now there's going to be a hold against the Big Red. And now, Dan, penalties have been a problem for the Red Tornadoes so far this season. They're averaging 7 penalties for about 65 yards a game, which is a lot, but they didn't have too many week 1.
Right.
They've really concentrated the last 2 weeks. It's been a little sloppy.
Yeah, and yes, the penalties may only be taking 60 yards away from the Red Tornadoes, but it's the results of the plays from the penalties that have been the big hurt. We've seen, I believe, 2 special teams touchdowns by the Red Tornadoes against Central Columbia, both called back due to penalties. So they've negated some big plays at times.
So it'll be 1st and 20 back at their own 45. It's going to be Karicki again. He's kind of going to go right into the mess. And so here's the thing, we're not official, we can't say this for sure, we'll rely on the Southern Columbia Sports and Info folks, but I've seen Fedorov on at least 1 tackle.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that he may be the new leading tackler at Southern Columbia area of all time.
Which is, again, you mentioned the previous Cal Halliday. I'm pretty sure he was starting as a freshman at Michigan State.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is, I mean, that's really great company to be with on that leaderboard and be able to surpass him. And there's only bright things in the future for Mr. Fedorov.
Karicki again, right into the heart of that defense, and there's not a whole lot there for him. There's a few different Tigers that need to get off the bottom. Again, it's 32 Fedorov, it's 15 Jankowski, it's 41 Mikowski. But in any event, it's 3rd and long for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see here now.
Maybe 3rd and maybe 17.
I'm going to try to see that maybe a screen here. Something just catch this aggressive defense off guard.
Belichick, Delaney, and Bailey to the right. Adams is by himself to the left in one-on-one coverage with Wenzanovich. And the Red Tornadoes had a little trouble getting the call in from the sideline. So they're going to take their first time out of the half at the 5:08 mark here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that was as the play clock was starting to wind down. I took a glance there, and it was at 5 seconds, and Marshall was still kind of getting some calls from the sideline there. So I think a smart decision here. This is a big 3rd down here, Jim, early in the game.
So again, we just want to thank all of you for spending your night with us, wherever you might be. Again, tonight we're available all the usual channels, as well as WNEP Plus and WNEP 2. It's kind of a cool thing to do here for the WKMC TV studio here, the broadcast arm of the Mount Carmel Area School District, a student-run TV studio.
Yep.
And we'll certainly highlight those young men and women as the night goes on, as much as we do those folks on the field. But for right now, 3rd and 17 for the Big Red when they reset. Ball right around the 47-yard line of Mount Carmel.
Yeah, and Jim, the runs into the line of scrimmage on 1st and 2nd down on 3rd and long just makes me think that Coach Derrick kind of had a plan, trying to maybe pull the Southern Columbia Tiger defense in to try to. There's a lot of space over the middle of that defense. If you can get Tate Adams or one of your speed guys down the seam.
Marshall's going to go straight back. He's got to move now. He's rolling out. He's going to try to get it out there, and he just floats it out. Incomplete. Initial pressure came from 41 Mikowski, and Marshall did everything he could to avoid a sack and just get the ball out of there.
Yeah, Jim, realistically, Marshall does a great job there, especially after the first punt that we saw from Max Karicki tonight, being a boomer of a punt. You don't want to give up any yardage here. There's a chance to really pin the Tigers deep here. Marshall gets away from the pressure, doesn't take the big hit, and gets the ball out. No loss.
Garcia and Andrews back deep again. This punt from Karicki is going to get another nice roll. It'll be down at the 16-yard line, maybe at the 17. So another good job by Karicki of holding, or I should say pinning the Tigers inside their own 20.
Yeah, it's really nice. 2 punts so far from Karicki. Both came off beautiful spiral, pretty good hang time. That's really nice job there out of the sophomore Karicki.
Every time we see Karicki punt, I always wonder if, as a lefty, does that ball come off just a little bit differently when it's a spiral as opposed to an end over end?
Well, yeah, I mean,
just rotating the wrong way.
You and I talk about baseball a lot. Just the way the ball comes off the bat of a left-handed hitter differently. It would make sense that it's a little trickier.
And the Tigers right back to what works. That time it's Grady Garcia. And there's nowhere to go for Garcia. He'll get maybe a yard as the Red Tornadoes were ready for that one.
Yeah, and the Red Tornado, we've talked about it at length, especially last week. The Red Tornadoes struggled against the run. So far tonight, it's still very early, but the defensive front has looked very tough against this big Southern Columbia Tiger front.
Kissinger split out. He's the Tigers' leading receiver. And Hockenbrock's going to throw across the middle. It's Malakowski again. A good stop by Kimzel, but a nice job by Malakowski to hang on to the football and get to about the 25-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2. I believe that's Kimzel still down for the Big Red.
Yeah, that's a great job in protection there from the Tiger offensive line. They gave Hockenbrock a clean pocket. He was able to step up and deliver a strike because the coverage on Malakowski was great. And Kimsel did a good job rallying to the football and stopping that for, as little of a gain as they could give up with Malakowski reeling that pass in.
And again, we're happy to be here at the Silver Bowl. We're happy to welcome all of you in with us. Perhaps a new audience we have tonight we don't usually get, but it's a very exciting place here at the Silver Bowl. A lot of cool stuff going on. One thing we always like to talk about is we have a brick project that goes down in the south end zone. Again, for those of you familiar with the Silver Bowl, it's where the creature bleachers used to be, but the idea behind it was kind of to build this gathering place for folks. And we wind up with a 6-foot water jet Red Tornado. It's surrounded by 4x8-inch bricks or 12 by 12-inch blocks. And what you can do is you can order them, and you can have them engraved, and you can be part of the Silver Bowl here forever. And I'll tell you how to do that right after this 3rd down play. It's going to be Andrews, and he gets the edge, so have the 1st down. Not much more, thanks to a great tackle there by Lukuski.
Yeah, really good job rallying to that. I mean, the Tigers do get the 1st down, but Andrews, I keep talking about how quick he is. He got the edge fast, but the Red Tornadoes did a good job closing.
And so just to finish off the bricks, here's the deal. If you're interested, you want to go to redtornadofootball.com, scroll down past Dan and I. On the right side, there'll be a form to order your brick, and you got to do that before October 1st. so we can get him in before the winter. RedTornadoFootball.com. As Hockenbrock's on the move, he rolls to his right, and he's going to be taken down by Clokus. He'll pick up 5.5, give him on a nice little show of mobility there by Hockenbrock.
After the Josh Allen pump fake too there as he got out into space, and you know, we talk about Josh Allen a lot being Bills fans, but this is it's just enough to kind of hold that linebacker just a second, get you an extra yard or two almost every time.
So it'll be 2nd and 4. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's Garcia off the left side, and there's not a whole lot of space. He fights forward, but he's ultimately going to run in the arms of big number 77, Noah Shimko, and it's going to bring up 3rd and maybe a yard.
Yeah, that was a good job. I think that was Ben Miller was the first one scraping from the backside into the backfield there. Almost makes the stop for a loss, but it was enough to slow down Garcia to allow the defensive front from that Red Tornadoes to rally to him.
So now the Red Tornadoes are going to make a swap here. You'll see this sometimes when they expect run. It's going to be Lukuski and Morganti to the sideline. Sheganowski and Kind are going to add a little more beef on that defensive line for the Big Red. The Tigers will be tighter than ever, and Hockenbrock will have a good push for a first down on the QB keeper.
Yeah, that was a really, really good push there from the Tiger offensive front. Even with the extra beef there on the Red Tornado defensive line, just got 3 yards on a play that you're really only trying to get 1.
But you don't turn down 3 if you can get it.
No, definitely not going to be upset with that.
Now this will be the kind of more wide open than we've seen the Tigers. It'll be a man split both directions. And Hockenbrock's going to throw, and he's got Andrews. He'll be slung down by Kimzel, but not before he gets very close to a first down. Not sure if he'll have it exactly, but if he doesn't, he just missed it.
Yeah, and that was just over the outstretched arms of Al Bailey at that defensive end. You see here, just got over the top of him. Really, really nice throw and catch there from Hockenbrock.
So 2nd and a yard. Ball just barely on the Tiger side of midfield. And it's going to be a reverse to Andrews. Andrews is deep in the backfield. Ooh. And he does a great job of running through the Belichick tackle to pick up a first down. That play could have been disastrous, but a good effort by Andrews made it positive.
Yeah, I mean, a great job from Belichick. Nonetheless, he was the one that got upfield and made Andrews go about 6 yards deep, and just wasn't able to hold on for the tackle in the backfield, but did enough to knock that play off. That reverse can turn into a big gain.
Joey Williams to the left side, and he's going to run into Ben Miller, and he's going to get a yard, but no more than that. A good play by Miller, the Red Tornadoes leading tackler.
Yeah, really good play there by Miller, and that's tough. That's a couple Red Tornadoes a little slow to get up there. Wasn't sure what was going on.
Cricky,
just taking their time.
Cricky was fixing his shoe.
Oh, okay.
And Lukuski looked like he was taking off his armband.
Well, that explains it then. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. Hockenbrock to throw again, and he's looking for Malakowski. It's just over his head. Good one-on-one coverage by Lukuski.
I mean, that's great coverage by Lukuski, but Jim, that's going to be something I think that the Tigers look to go back to, just because of the size difference there between. I mean, we talked about Malakowski. I believe he goes 6'3". To Lukuski, who is 5'9". So a little bit of a height advantage there, but Lukuski not shying away from it.
Wenzenovich split out wide for the Tigers on 3rd and 9. And it's going to be an inside reverse to Garcia. And Garcia's got some space. He stays on his feet for a first down to the 35. And so as we're approaching the end of the first quarter, about 39 seconds left, the Tigers are sustaining a drive here against the Red Tornadoes.
Jim, that's a great job by Garcia. That's a balance drill that you work on as a running back. He got his feet kind of taken out from underneath him, used his hand to stabilize himself, which he wasn't able to keep his feet completely, but it was enough to get him 3-4 more yards and get that first down.
Hockenbrock to throw off the play action over the middle. Wide open is Malakowski. It's going to take a few Red Tornadoes to get him to the turf. But it'll be another first down at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Hockenbrock was under a lot of pressure there, Jim. Straight up the middle from Max Karicki, who made sure that Hockenbrock knew that he was there.
And the Tigers will be content to take it to the end, to the sideline for the end of the quarter and finish the drive on the other half of the field. So we'll be back in 60 seconds at the end of the first quarter with nothing here at the Silver Bowl.
Fans, NCAA Alumni Weekend is being held on September 27th, 28th. Events include a pregame tailgate for the usual game and a reunion banquet on Saturday at the Sports Complex in Atlas. Tickets are $4 and are on sale at the main gate during tonight's game. Fans, some of the American Legion in Coltmont are having a chicken barbecue tomorrow at Coltmont Beverage. 11 a.m. till sold out to support the traveling Vietnam Wall to the Coltmont Legion in July of 2025. Swing on by for a chicken barbecue at Coltmont Beverage tomorrow to support the traveling Vietnam Wall.
Welcome back to the Silver Bowl. To start the second quarter, the Tigers are locked in a 0-0 tussle with the Red Tornadoes, but on 1st and 10, they're going to hand it off to Andrews on the right side, and he'll get still on his feet. Oh, my goodness. He lowers the shoulder to finish the run inside the 5-yard line, and there are multiple Red Tornadoes down.
Yeah, Jim, there was a mass of red jerseys, and then you just saw Andrews kind of come out of the mix there. On skate, you get a better look at it here. Just does a really good job kind of fighting through, rips away from a couple arm tackles. And sometimes, you never want to say that there's, you want all 11 guys around the football, but sometimes there's just too many people there, and you kind of get lost in the wash. And Andrews did just that. He got lost in the wash there and came out the other side for a big gain.
I'm not entirely sure which Red Tornado that is down at the moment. Certainly being tended to. But again, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, our WKMC TV sponsor, Bob Bibbs, Beierschmidt and family. Here's an interesting fact for you, Dan. A member of the Beierschmidt family, all right, they've been involved with the Mount Carmel educational system for not a decade, not 2 decades, for over 80 years.
8 decades.
Right. Let's walk through this as you see Lukuski up and walking off under his own power, gratefully as always. So you had the father, Gerald Beierschmidt. Gerald's superintendent from 1935 to 1970.
Wow.
And then Bibbs' brother, Rich, was a teacher, principal, and superintendent, all different roles, right, between 1970 and 2005. Bob, who's kind enough to get all this set up for us, he's the principal at Northumberland County Career and Technology Center from 2005 to 2013. But it doesn't stop just there. The brothers, Jim and Tom, Bob's brothers, Jim and Tom, played football as quarterbacks at MCA and later for Army.
Wow.
And Bob's son, Bobby, who I believe you played with.
Yeah, played with me.
Was an offensive guard, fullback, defensive back, and long snapper for the Big Red.
Tremendous long snapper, too.
Certainly a family affair here at Mount Carmel as far as the Beierschmidts are concerned. And Andrews is going to be stopped short of the goal line on 1st and goal. And I think we'd be remiss, Dan, to not recognize Bibbs as the first drum major of the Mounties. Right?
Yeah.
The Mount Carmel band, the Mounties. And
Yes.
he's perhaps best known for his antics on the field and had the opportunity to perform at really numerous NFL football games throughout the East Coast as well as Canada.
Wow, that's
So again, Bibbs, we appreciate you. We appreciate you and the Beierschmidt family, and thank you for your continued support here of the Big Red. It's Andrews again off the right side. We're going to get a stoppage here, or a false start against the Tigers.
And that's big for the Red Tornadoes. any movement away from that goal line is going to be important for this Red Tornado defense if they're going to look to get a goal line stand here.
And one of the things we have that I don't think a lot of schools have is we have a sports information guy as knowledgeable as any in Jose Gonzalo. And Dan, it's occurred to me, I wonder when the last time the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers were locked in a 0-0 contest after a quarter.
It's a good question.
Andrews off the right side. There's a flag here. The Red Tornadoes do another good job getting a stop.
And Jim, depending on what the flag is, if it's goes against the Tigers, you'd be curious to see if Coach Dara declines the penalty.
There's a hold against the Tigers. I think they're going to walk this one off.
Well, I think they're still.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Yeah, there we go. There was a little discussion there, a little delay. I wasn't sure because I mean it was a big stop there for the Red Tornadoes. But again, any backwards motion is good, at least for the Red Tornadoes at this point.
Going to go from 1st and goal inside the 5 to 2nd and goal from the 17. Courtesy of a couple Tiger penalties. And now Hockenbrock's going to roll out to throw. And he's got a man wide open.
That's Fedorov, I think.
Yeah, that was Fedorov. It took me a second to realize it was Fedorov.
Well, we don't usually see him on the offensive side of the ball with the, I wonder if he's just a goal line guy, kind of comes in as an extra tight end, an extra blocker, but did a good job, and he got out in front of the defense. Hockenbrock just, I think.
And I believe this is Belichick that sees Hockenbrock roll out and really just stays in his face so Hockenbrock can't get the corner and really didn't have a clear lane to throw that either, which I think led to maybe the ball being a little, just a bit outside for Fedorov.
Well, yeah, 100%, Jim. That's exactly what it was. Belichick did a good job of breaking down, not over pursuing, and not giving Hockenbrock anywhere to go, which made him stop his feet. And
3rd and goal from the 17. The Tigers are going to take a timeout.
Jim, I don't like to be a broken record here, but it's a big 3rd down. So
again, for those of you keeping score at home, we'd love to know how many that is already.
It's only 2. Only 2 so far.
That's 2 today.
Yeah.
How many have we had this season? We're not even halfway through week 4.
Yeah, well.
So we talked again a lot of stuff about the Red Tornadoes and kind of the tradition that goes on here at Mount Carmel and all the different things that you can do to support it. And again, I just want to one more time to talk about the Brick Project because I think, and here you go, you see the Red Tornado faithful here, the student section, always a good time. But if you can go out to redtornadofootball.com and check in on those bricks, the other part that's super important again is you want to get those orders in by October 1st so that we can get them engraved and in the ground before the snow flies. Or if you don't get it now, you'll have to wait until the spring. But also, those proceeds are going back to the general upkeep of the stadium. So this beautiful facility that's here, that's a haven for everybody on Friday nights in the fall. And one of the, I was told probably the only facility in the country maybe that has Soupy in the press box and Halushki in the concession stand. You can be a part of that. And now Hockenbrock to throw, and he's looking for it incomplete.
Oh, wow.
He was looking for Malakowski, but he couldn't have been covered any better than Delaney had him covered.
Yeah, and again, that was the I mentioned it earlier that's Hockenbrock's going to be looking to that. Malakowski's going to have at least a height advantage over, I'd say 95% of the defensive backs that are going to be covering him. Not just tonight, probably throughout the season. Hockenbrock kind of underthrew that one. I'm not sure if it was designed to be a back shoulder thing, but if he could have got that up there, he might have had an opportunity.
4th and goal, Hockenbrock to throw again. He's looking for Malakowski immediately. He overthrows him. So the Red Tornado defense stands tall in a bend but don't break drive and will stay scoreless here at the Silver Bowl. 10:53 to go in the first half. 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes on their own 17.
Yeah, and you see that Red Tornado defense is coming off that field, hyped up, and hoping that they could kind of feed some of that energy into this offense that's going out there. They're going to have a long field in front of them, but a lot of time to go down there and hopefully get the first points on the board of the night.
So Kricki will stay in the backfield with Marshalluk. Again, we've seen different parts this season where it's been Kimzel for a drive, Kricki for a drive, but it'll stay Kricki. He's going to get out to the 25-yard line, pickup of about 8.
And Jim, the Red Tornadoes are doing a good job. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier that it was going to be kind of tough sledding up the middle. And in obvious run situations, it seems like the Tiger defense really squeezes down and makes it hard for getting up the middle. But a first down with a team that is really balanced, that's not an obvious run situation. So it's a really good job of Coach Dara kind of changing things up. Run, pass, run, pass. He's going to have to do that to have success on the ground.
Marshall to throw. He looks to his right. He comes back to his left, and it's almost intercepted.
It's Kissinger.
I think that's Kissinger out there. Yeah, look, Marshall was looking for Adams. Got it there a little bit late, and Kissinger was almost going the other way.
Yeah, Kissinger did a great job driving on the football. I mean, that's impressive closing speed there, because there was some steam coming off that out of Marshallik's hand.
On 3rd and 2, the Red Tornadoes perhaps bringing in a little bit of beef on the offensive side. Adams comes to the sideline. The Red Tornadoes put a second fullback in there, number 9, Max Karicki, and it's going to be Cooper Karicki. And it's going to take a second effort from Karicki, but he's going to have the first down. Looked like he was stopped short, but he kept churning. 1st and 10, Big Red.
So I'm pretty sure there were 9 Southern Columbia Tigers on the defensive line in between the tackles on that play. And just a great effort by the offensive line, holding tough, and the second effort by Karicki to get the first down.
The Red Tornadoes will stay with that bigger package. Blitchick will be split by himself to the sideline side. Delaney's down here to the field side, just inside the hash. Marshallik's going to hand it to Karicki again, who's going to stay upfield across the 30. See, they're going to say maybe the 32-yard line, so give him 4, maybe 5, second and medium.
Yeah. We're going to have to see this from Coach Dara. I like what he did. You know, don't bring out the big package right away after getting the first down. Leave him out there for a play. Let Southern Columbia know that you can do more than one thing out of that set and out of that, you know, having that personnel.
Marshallik to throw. And he's got Delaney open, and Delaney's got it. And now it's a foot race. Nobody's going to catch number 6. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. 68 yards, Marshallik to Delaney. The Red Tornadoes strike first. 6-0 here at the Silver Bowl at the 9:03 mark of the second quarter.
And Jim, you knew it was only a matter of time. The run game up the middle, the short, quick passing game, which we continue to talk about, just an extension of that run game, was going to open things up over the middle, and it was just going to take one step, and that's what Delaney had. He had a step on his defender, and Marshallik with a beautiful ball in stride to Delaney. He didn't have to slow down, and then he just beat everyone to the end zone. Great pitch and catch there for the first score of the game here.
Red Tornadoes look to add the extra point. Shimko snap, Adams hold, and Shoppy's kick. All good. 7-0 Big Red.
Again, Jim, this is just I mean, you've kind of felt it. It happened to me, too. When that ball went up in the air, and I looked downfield and I saw Delaney running open, I said, he's just got to catch it. He's just got to reel it in. The throw was good. The route was great. And the result, spectacular.
Well, and that's, now, Dan, I got to check my notes here. Right, that's the nice thing about these notes. So that looked eerily similar to the 66-yard touchdown that Marshallik threw to Delaney in week 1 at North Schuylkill.
Yes, sir.
Right, where because he's the inside man, he runs that kind of skinny post.
Yep.
And it just splits the defense.
And you know, I mentioned it on the Red Tornadoes' previous drive, that at times, because of the way Southern Columbia's defense is aligned, there's a lot of room over the middle of the field. And if you're able to kind of flood one of those areas, make one defender choose who he has to pick, it's gonna prove fruitful for the Red Tornadoes if they can continue to do that.
Shoppy will kick off for the Red Tornadoes for the first time tonight. Again, it'll be Garcia and Andrews back deep for the Tigers, much like on the punts. Shoppy's kick is a good one. Andrews at the 5. And it's going to be Cloakus, first man on site. Blitchick will finish him off. Going to be 1st and 10 Tigers at the 21.
Yeah, and that's a really, really great job in kick coverage there by the Red Tornadoes. Last week saw the Wildcats take one to the house on a kick return for a touchdown. And it just seemed like some of the Red Tornadoes got out of their lanes. This time, nowhere for Andrews to go. He had to make a decision. He decided to go up the middle and had Klokas and Belichick ready and waiting.
We'll see how the Tigers respond. They trail for the first time tonight. Will stay in their tight formation. And the last drive ended with 3 straight incompletions. It's going to go back to Andrews on the right side. He gets a good push, but good job there by the defense to hang on. Give up about more than I thought, maybe 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Jim, that's something that I think the Red Tornadoes are going to have to do, because these Tiger running backs are so good at following their lead blockers. A lot of times you're going to see the Red Tornadoes having to tackle the lead blocker and the guy with the football to make a stop. And we've talked about, over the past three weeks, the grit of this Red Tornado team. They've been down, they've came back, and last week they turned it into a victory. But the Tigers have that grit too.
And now that was a very interesting sequence of events there. It's Gallagher ends up with the ball after a flurry of handoffs, we'll call it. It's going to pick up maybe a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Yeah,
2 yards, 3rd and 4, we'll say.
Just want to talk a little bit about the Tigers' Week 1 game against Wyomissing was eerily similar to the Red Tornadoes' Week 1 game against North Schuylkill. They got down early, had some mishaps that kind of led to that, and then they fought back. It just wasn't enough at the end. But both of these teams have played from behind before.
Hockenbrock under pressure. He gets the ball out to Gallagher, who's going to pick up a first down. I thought he might get a flag at the start there. I think there was a little bit of motion.
Yeah.
But not enough to warrant any kind of infraction. So 1st and 10 Tigers.
Yeah, that's a big one there for the Red Tornadoes. They got a lot of pressure, which that play is designed to do on a screen play. They had pressure up front, and they had the secondary in coverage. So there was a lot of space there for Gallagher to get that first down. All Hockenbrock had to do was get the ball out to him, and he did a great job of doing that.
Gallagher in motion. Hockenbrock will fake it to him. And he's going to go up top over the middle. He's looking for Kissinger, just out of his reach. Hockenbrock didn't exactly have a clean pocket to deliver that football in courtesy of Karicki.
No, he didn't. And you're right, Jim. Karicki is applying a lot of pressure from the inside. But you're right, Jim. They looked like Kissinger had a step on the defender there. Just a little too much there from Hockenbrock.
When it looked like on the replay, I'm not sure if it was Delaney, but there was also a push coming from the left side. So Karicki was in his face, but really the rush from the other side may have been what impacted the throw a little bit more. We also noticed Keegan Brown in there for the first time tonight for the Red Tornadoes in this drive, as it's Andrews, and there's just nothing there for him. Miller's going to be the first one on site, and Klokas says, I'll finish this off.
Jim, that looked like Klokas was trying to climb a tree. He kind of grabbed on with his arms, then hopped on with his legs and pulled him to the ground to finish that tackle. But that's a great job there by that Red Tornado defense, rallying. We talked about, and we saw it on the Tigers' previous drive, just how the escapability of Andrews when he's, you think you have him and he's able to kind of just wiggle away. So they're going to have to get multiple guys on the guy with the football, and the Red Tornadoes are doing just that.
3rd and 7 for the Tigers. Hockenbrock to throw again. He's looking for Kissinger, and it's just out of reach. So it'll be 4th and 7 for the Tigers from their own 38-yard line. And here comes the punt unit.
And that's a really, that's a statement defensive stop there for the Red Tornadoes. You give up the early first down on the screenplay, but then you hold up after your team takes the lead, get that ball back for your offense, and try to keep that momentum on the Red Tornado sideline.
That was Morganti, good coverage there against Kissinger that really left Hockenbrock with almost no window to put that ball in. It's a high snap. Shadle gets it down. It's a good kick. It's going to be in the direction of Kimsel, but he's going to get out of the way, as should all the Red Tornadoes. Going to be downed at the 30. 1st and 10, Big Red from that point. 6:16 remaining in the first half. They lead the Tigers 7-0.
Yeah, and Jim, the Tigers, a little fortunate there. It seemed like the Red Tornadoes were still trying to get their return set up when that high snap went to Shadle. I think they would have had some time with some pressure due to the high snap, to kind of get after that punt, but kind of sat back and tried to set up a return. But either way, Red Tornado football here with the lead.
Number 12, Caius Morrow, the safety position. He's going to shade to the trip side a little bit here. But the Red Tornadoes are going to give it to Karicki, hoping the Delaney touchdown open things up a little bit, but not so. So we'll see which Tigers get up off the bottom of the pile. Again, it's Mikowski, or excuse me, it's Chase Williams, as well as it looked like Adam Barnes.
Yeah, Jim, Chase Williams, I was trying to figure out who that was. It was Williams, came from the back side of that play, but because of the push up front, was able to, wow.
And the Red Tornadoes get their screen game on for Delaney, and they're going to pick up an extra 15 there. It's essentially a horse collar tackle is where that comes in. It's Delaney ducked his head, and the defender grabbed a little bit of the helmet there, but that's more than enough to generate the infraction.
Yeah, and before I could even get my last thought out, they had the ball out to Delaney, and Delaney with a great display of hands. Just did an awesome job getting that ball, because that was out in front of him, way out in front of him. And he reeled that one in. He snatched it out of the air.
And so, excuse me, on that one, I think I said horse collar, but we're going to go, technically it's a face mask because it's part of the helmet.
But yeah, the back of the helmet, that's all.
But it's a 15-yard penalty, and so the Red Tornadoes are in business at the Tiger 42, 1st and 10.
And that's a tough one for the Tigers, because I don't think there's no malicious intent there, but because of the yank, just to kind of make the tackle.
Marshall to throw, and he's looking for Adams, and it's just high. Adams had good position, but the Tigers had good coverage with both Morrow and, is that 11 on that side, Dan, or 10?
I think it's 11. That's
Kissinger, or excuse me, Wenzenovich.
Wenzenovich, yeah.
We're in good coverage.
Yeah, that was actually Belichick to the single receiver side that Marshall was getting the ball out to. They just swapped sides of the field.
1s and 7s look alike at that distance.
They do.
That's my defense. Plus the black socks. I got a lot of excuses. But the ball is on the ground, and I believe Shimko's going to fall on it for the Red Tornadoes, but they have trouble with the snap. That's what plagued them in week 1 against the Spartans.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. Turnovers against good teams never end well. So now the Red Tornadoes are going to be looking at a long 3rd down here, but fortunate to retain possession.
And that's how fast things change against a good team like the Tigers. You get the big play from Delaney, you add 15 yards to it, you throw an incompletion, you fumble a snap, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and about 17.
Yeah.
Just inside of Tiger territory at the 48. Hit the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Marshall to throw. He's looking for Belichick on a stop route.
Ooh.
Had Belichick, but it was a little wide of target. So now, this is a weird place to punt the football. I think it's the only choice the Red Tornadoes have.
Yeah, I mean, I think you lean on your defense, who has played tremendously throughout this first quarter, and over a quarter and a half of just great defense. You tell Karicki to try to angle it towards the sideline and get some air under it so the guys can get down there and keep it from going to the end zone and try to pin them deep.
Only one man back this time as the Tigers going to put a rush on it. They block the kick. It's blocked. It's going to be recovered by number 62, Adam Barnes. But again, the only one man back for the Tigers indicated they were coming after it, and they did. And so a big swing of momentum there in the Tigers' favor. They're going to have the ball at the Red Tornado 30-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge play. And Jim, I know it was Barnes that got on that football, but I believe it was Chase Williams, again, with the pressure, that was able to get his hand on that ball to block it. We'll get a better look at it here.
That's exactly who it is. Williams came right off that left edge. And then Barnes was Johnny on the spot. And we'll see how the Tigers respond with a little bit of momentum. It's Andrews to the right side, and just like that, he's got a little crease. Looks like the turf monster might have jumped up and got him.
Yeah, lost his footing there, because you're right, Jim. There was a wave of Tigers in front of him, but a really good job of just getting what he could out of that after kind of losing his footing there.
Still pick up 5. Zanovic by himself, locked up with Morganti on the bottom of the screen, but it's Andrews to the right side, and he's going to run into a big pile. And the Tigers seem content to try to push that pile. But a good job there by the red jerseys getting Andrews on the ground.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to the Red Tornado defense there. But you could see Andrews when he ran into the back of his own offensive line. He just put his shoulder down and started pumping his feet. It was like he was running in place there, but he ran in place for about three extra yards.
It's 3rd and a yard at the 21. And it's Garcia. And Garcia's he's gonna do a lot of things that probably Coach Jim Roth wishes he wouldn't have, but at the end of the day, he picks up the first down.
Yeah, so I think those are all forgiven because he was able to get that first down. But just going back into the backfield on a 3rd and short is never. You always want forward motion on any sort of short yardage situation. But either way, it ends the same with a first down, Tigers.
Get an official timeout here. Not quite sure for what reason. Looks like something on the far sideline.
Looks like something with the chain gang there.
Lincoln, maybe a kink in the chain, perhaps. But yeah, Garcia was just shifty enough there to get around Delaney.
Yeah, because Delaney had that one hemmed in. It seemed like he snuffed that one out coming from his defensive back position. Got upfield, which normally would force the running back inside. But Garcia went outside, but was still able to kind of get around Delaney and get that first down.
This time it's Williams, and he's going to be stuck. And again, and I think we'll say this a lot this season, Dan, Miller's going to be on the initial contact, and then Clokus is going to come in and finish it off.
Yeah, Clokus plays with an aggression that you love to see in a young inside linebacker. You know, and seems like Ben Miller has done a really good job kind of bringing those guys along. He's the veteran in there at that linebacker core, bringing those guys along, showing them where to be, filling the gaps, and then everybody brings their own little wrinkle to that defense.
2nd and 10, it's Andrews, and a great play by Karicki. Karicki made his way all the way down the line and really got Andrews before he could get upfield.
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome job because that's like a chase down tackle there by Karicki. And I keep talking about the quickness of Andrews, but the left side of the Red Tornado defense did a good job kind of forcing Andrews to have to turn it inside. And as he turned it inside, it allowed Karicki to run him down and make that stop for no gain.
Well, we talked about at the outset, again, there may not be two teams in the state of Pennsylvania, perhaps anywhere in the country, two high school football teams that know each other as well as these two teams do. So a lot of that eye candy, that window dressing in the backfield doesn't affect the Red Tornadoes the way it may affect other teams. But a good ball from Hockenbrock, and that's going to be Kissinger, I believe.
Yeah, it looks just short
down at
too, I think.
10.
This would be just short. It's going to be 4th down.
And the Red Tornadoes held him up, and Kissinger took a shot for his efforts.
Yeah, you heard the oohs from the crowd when I believe that was I think it was Max Karicki coming from the opposite direction to clean that tackle up.
4th and a yard, a minute 15, 14, 11, 10 left in the first half. Hockenbrock keeps it himself, and he looks like he may have had the first on the initial push.
Yeah, we'll have to see the call.
But the Red Tornadoes are very excited. They seem to think they stopped him short.
It's going to be real close, Jim. I wouldn't be surprised to see them bring the chains in.
This is going to be an emphatic signal, whatever it is.
And they're going to bring the chains in.
Dan, you have to be over the moon excited right now.
I am.
There is nobody who asks for chain measurements more than Dan.
Listen, I understand the pace of play thing, and everybody wants to see action. But this is a very, very important play of the game.
Now we're going to wait here because we're just going to let this call marinate. You'll be able to tell by the reaction. And that crowd rumbling is the Big Red faithful. Short. The Red Tornadoes turn the Tigers away again, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 10 with 1:02 left in the first half.
And Jim, that's now twice that the Tigers were in the red zone, and the Red Tornado defense has stood strong to just seize any opportunity of points away from this Tigers team.
So the Red Tornadoes made another change there. Again, they brought that beef in, and my goodness, what a great call by Coach Dara and his defense. Marshala to Karicki. Nowhere for him to go.
Actually, 2 backs in the backfield that time. One of the lead blocker there for Karicki, it was Al Bailey, but it seemed like they both got stuffed.
Well, and honestly, the play ended so far in the backfield after forward progress was stopped.
Yeah.
That when I saw the officials walking versus where Karicki was, I was like, oh, he picked up more yardage than I thought.
Yeah.
That was the disparity. Now,
and that 1 yard was
Right.
more yardage than you thought.
Right. Now, the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers both seem content here, as the Red Tornadoes are in no rush to snap the football again, as we're under 30 seconds. But Marshall's going to throw it out to Adams with Kissinger out there, and it'll be held up, and Adams, give him credit,
Yeah.
because Kissinger was doing everything he could to separate him from the football.
Yeah, Kissinger makes a really, really good tackle because Adams did a great job of, trying to stay on his feet.
And that's going to do it for the end of the first half. So with zeros on the clock, it'll be 7-0 Red Tornadoes heading into the locker room. Now, we've got kind of an exciting moment here for you. We don't always get halftime interviews with opposing coaches, but tonight we'll be able to speak with legendary football coach Jim Roth. Recently won his 500th game at the helm of the Southern Columbia area Tigers. We have our very own Alyssa Trefsker down on the sideline, waiting for Coach Roth to make his way to the tunnel to see what Coach Roth has to say about the first 24 minutes of football, in which the Red Tornadoes have jumped out to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, it appears Alyssa is closing the distance there as Coach Roth.
Coach Roth is a very important guy.
Caught by Black Diamond
Right.
before Alyssa was able to get to him.
Yep. So one thing we want to remember as we wait for Coach Roth is at the end of the first half, again, make sure you come back. We'll have Coach Dara coming out of the locker room. We'll also have stats from our own Jose Gonzalo regarding the first half and scores from around the area. So we're waiting for Alyssa. And, yep. And we've got, and I do believe, Coach Roth may have made his way to the locker room. Looks to be Coach Roth coming off the field. So we'll go ahead and get to break. Again, halftime here, 7-0 Red Tornadoes. We'll be back with stats, scores in the second half. Stay tuned on WNEP.
I'm here with Jagger Delaney. Jagger, what's your position and number?
I play left tackle, number 70.
All righty. So we're going to get to know you, all right? So who was the best coach you ever had?
I'd probably say John Dara.
All right. You get it. You're probably with him every single day,
Yeah,
to be
I am,
honest.
yeah.
So you got to like the guy.
Great coach.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh, it's a tough one. I'd probably have to say Gladiator, though.
Gladiator?
I love
Good
Gladiator.
pick. So who's your favorite teacher in the school?
Whew, that's a tough one. It's between a lot of people. It's hard to pick. I'd probably have to say Mrs. Shower, though.
Miss Shower?
Yeah.
Nice lady?
Yes.
I ever this upcoming year. What is your Pepe's order?
Pepe's order? Probably a large Georgia cup.
Alrighty, that's what I get too. They're really good.
Yes, they are.
What's your favorite fast food?
That's a tough one too. I'd probably have to go with Wendy's.
Wendy's?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Wendy's.
Nope, not at all.
It's cheap and good.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jagger. I'm Hobie 40. I'm here with Tate Adams. Tate, what's your number and position?
Number 7, wide receiver.
Okay, Tate, we're going to get to know you. What is something you are really bad at?
I'd say spelling.
Spelling. Okay. If you could switch lives with one of your teammates for a day, who would it be and why?
I don't know. Probably Zeke, because like he's just like a crazy kid. He's
Like
just
no one knows what he does?
Yeah, no one knows what he does besides football.
Who was the best coach you ever had?
Coach Ralph on the Cougars.
He was a great coach.
Yes,
Great
he was.
coach. Okay. What is your favorite movie?
I'd probably say The Waterboy.
Waterboy? That's a good movie. Funny movie. And what is your favorite song?
Oh, I don't know. I have a lot. Probably Last Night by Morgan Wallen.
Last Night? It's a great song. Great song. Thank you, Tate.
Hey, welcome back to the Silver Bowl. We're at 7-0 Red Tornadoes over the Tigers at the end of the first half. We have Alyssa with Coach Dara. Alyssa, go ahead.
I'm here with Coach Dara. And Coach, it's been a real close game so far. What adjustments are you going to make in order to keep this lead up in the second half?
We still got a couple tricks up our sleeve, but the main thing is we just got to finish. I thought we played really hard in the first half. Got to match it here in the second half.
Alrighty, thank you. Jim and Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. That was Alyssa Trefsky. Great job. We also have the great Jose Gonzalo on the sideline. So, Jose, how are you, sir?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good. What do you have for us tonight?
All right, let's go real quick for Southern. 23 rushes, 91 yards, 6 of 12 passing for 50. Total offense, 141. Andrews with 11 carries for 53 yards. Hockenbrock, 6 of 12 for 53. And Jace Malakowski, 3 catches for 27. For Mount Carmel, 11 rushes, 35 yards, 4 of 10 passing for 95. Total offense, 130 and 7 first downs. Cooper Karicki, 10 for 41. Jalen Delaney, 3 for 87. And Marshalik is 4 of 10 for 95. Great first half. One thing I have to point out also, guys, time of possession, Mount Carmel 7-18, Southern 16-42. So to be up 7-0, I think is a real plus at this point.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Jose.
Yeah,
we'll
thanks,
see if we
Jose.
All right, guys. See you later. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the booth for Dan and I here. And I think we talked about, Jose always gives us the stats. He gives us the opportunity to kind of add some context to the score. But in this case, there's only one score to add context to. And it was the 68-yard touchdown pass from Marshalik to Delaney here in the second quarter. And again, we talked about it, Dan.
And here it is for those of you out there that are watching. We talked about Marshalik, 4 of 10 for 95 yards, 68 of it coming on this beautiful. I mean, it's a dime, that pitch and catch from Marshalik to Delaney. Delaney, 3 catches for 87 of those 95 yards. They're big numbers for what has been a big first half from Delaney.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised. So that connection, Delaney and Marshalik, has been nothing short of prolific over the first couple weeks of the season. Week 2 versus Central Columbia, Delaney set the school record for both targets and receptions. 17 targets, 14 receptions. And Marshalik had set this 2-game record in weeks 1 and 2 for completions with, I believe, 37.
Yes.
19 in week 1, which was the second most all time, and 18 in week 2. So as we get started here, while we've focused on the Red Tornadoes offense, because that's kind of where the points have been,
yeah,
the second half is going to feature the Southern Columbia Tiger offense first, as they'll be getting the ball first here with Andrews and Garcia back deep, waiting for the kick from Shoppy.
Yeah, Jim, and that Red Tornado defense that has been prolific in the red zone in the first half. I mean, two times the Tigers went into the red zone, and 2 times they were turned away by that stout Red Tornado defense that has looked like night and day compared to last week. A little bit of hard time against the run last week against Mifflinburg. They've come back and answered the bell so far in that first half. We'll see what kind of adjustments Coach Roth has made. You don't win 7 straight state championships without being able to make halftime adjustments. So we'll see if this is a different half for the
Good
Tigers.
Kick from Shoppy will be Garcia at the 10. And he's going to go across the field, and oh my goodness, he lost his footing. And he may have been more fortunate to have lost his footing because Karicki was coming through like a freight train.
And Jim, I'm not sure if that was a full-on lost his footing. I think part of that was he saw Karicki. It was a rock about to meet a hard place, and he kind of just not shied away, but he was just trying to put his foot in the ground to make a move. And thankfully, because it seemed Karicki was coming full speed at him and put a hit on him.
Dan referenced the Red Tornadoes' 2 defensive stops, and it'll be Andrews to the right side across the 25 or so. The 2 defensive stops for the Red Tornadoes inside the red zone. Jose talked about time of possession. Over 2-1.
Yes.
Tigers 2 Red Tornadoes, and again, yet the Red Tornadoes lead. So that's a hallmark of a bend but don't break defense.
Absolutely what it is. The Tigers, yardage-wise, they've controlled the clock, they've controlled the ball, and they've had a lot of success. It hasn't turned into points for them, and that's credit to the Red Tornado defense. standing up when it needs to.
Gallagher tries to get the edge, but Delaney lives there and says, no, you may not pass. It'll be 2nd and 9, a loss of 3.
And the unfortunate part for Gallagher there is as Delaney goes to turn him in, you'll see here that his pulling lineman, actually he turns into his pulling lineman and gets tripped up by Delaney and then hit over the top by, I believe that was big number 66, Braylon Smith, who's just trying to get out in front of him there, but kind of took away that cutback.
So now the Tigers come out. Again, recognizing down a touchdown on the scoreboard. Have the ball to start the second half, but find themselves in a 3rd and long. Hockenbrock to throw with 6 of 12 in the first half, and he's got Kissinger, and it's going to be right at the stick. It'll be first down, Tigers.
Yeah, and great job by Kissinger coming back for the football, but knowing where the sticks were and reaching that ball out at the end to get that first down. But that's really good pass protection there for Hockenbrock. He had a clean pocket. You look here, he was able to step into this throw to put a little bit of zip on it as Morganian coverage was closing. But a great job. The Red Tornadoes are going to want to kind of dirty that pocket up for them going forward to prevent that from happening again.
This time it's Williams. There he goes. Williams right at the middle. There's no flags. Can Belichick catch him? He will not. Touchdown, Joey Williams, 67 yards, 7-6 here at the Silver Bowl.
Yeah, and that's a huge play there for the Tigers. They get the big 3rd down conversion the play prior, and then they just go with the quick hitter, Williams, the fullback. They do a lot of, we've talked about the Southern Columbia offense, a lot of window dressing, motion, misdirection. That's just a straight dive to Williams, who found a crease and then outran everybody to the end zone. It's a great play and great execution by the Tigers there. And now looking to pull this one even with a kick from Shadle.
And it's blocked. I don't know if it was going to get there anyway, but the Red Tornadoes did block it. Did you see who got a hand on that one, Dan?
I believe it was number 29 there, Mr. Ben Miller. There was Delaney was applying the pressure off the edge, but it looked like Miller came from the inside there and was the one that got his hand on it. Both of them applied a lot of pressure to that ball, that kick. But I think it was Miller that got the contact.
So one thing I wanted to go back to, Dan, is when Alyssa interviewed Coach Dara at the half, one of the things Coach Dara said was, we still got some tricks up our sleeves.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is if you think about, again, the point we've made before, these two teams have been facing each other twice a season for the better part of a decade. Again, reason being, both teams are in District 4.
Yep.
And up until this year, both teams were Class AA.
Yes.
And so regardless of what happened in the matchup in the regular season, which the Red Tornadoes had won the last 2 years, they were going to have another chance to kind of run into each other.
Yeah.
That's not the case this year.
No, it's not.
There's no reason for Coach Dara or Coach Roth to really hide anything from each other.
No need to keep any secrets or any tricks for the playoffs, for down the line here.
Now, you understand if coaches may not want to put things on film, and I get that. But in the context of this particular game, anything the Red Tornadoes have that they like against the Tigers specifically and vice versa, let's see it in the second half here.
And especially, it's still early in the season, but both teams coming in here at 2-1. Red Tornadoes right now, middle of the pack in the standings right now in District 4. So it's early. The game does still carry some weight.
Shadle's kick will be taken by Kimsel at the 15. And he does a good job staying on his feet. What a big return by Kimsel, who is electric back there, out across the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, Big Red at the 46.
And Jim, this is the first time all year that I get to mention that getting up in that briar patch. That was Coach Carm was my coach when I played here for the Red Tornadoes, and he always told the returners, you want to get up in that briar patch. You're gonna get hit with some stickers, but you got to keep working your way through it. And he got up in that briar patch, ran through the arm tackles, and made a really, really nice return. It put the Red Tornadoes in great position to start this first drive of the second half.
And as we do start the first drive of the second half for the Big Red, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Bob Bibbs, Beierschmidt and family, for their support. I want to remind you we're out on WNEP Plus, as well as our usual stations tonight. But this Red Tornado drive, the first one of the second half, will start with a 1st and 15 as a dead ball false start against the Big Red.
Yeah, it's not exactly how you want to get things started there, but you lose 5 yards, you keep your down, And now you make a little change here. Because this is the first time, you mentioned it was mostly Cooper Karicki in the first half for the Red Tornadoes in the backfield. Kimsel gets the big return, and now he gets the opportunity back there, sidecar of Marshalik.
Marshalik to throw, and it's Delaney. He gets a good block from Bailey, another good one from Belichick. And 1st and 15 is going to be, looks like he stepped out of bounds, so about a 2nd and 2, a nice gain of 13.
Yeah, really good job there. And Delaney did exactly what he had to do. He got to the edge, and he just hit the gas.
Doesn't look like there's a flag on the play, however.
It's going to go back.
That'll be a hold against the Big Red. And so it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot, which was just a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10 turned to 15, turned to 1st and 21.
Yeah.
As the Kimsel return is thus far proved fruitless. As the Big Red moved the wrong direction. Kimsel sidecar with Marshalik, and it's going to be Kimsel right into the heart of that Tiger defense, nowhere to go.
And late flag there from the sideline.
Be curious to see what the flag is again. In those piles, it's hard to tell what's going on, so we'll rely on the official's interpretation as we wait and see if the Red Tornadoes will get some assistance here or if they're going to go even further back. It does look like it's going to be against the Tigers.
Yes.
It'll be a personal foul against the Tigers.
Okay.
And it's going to be 15 yards, and as it's a dead ball, 15-yard penalty, it should be an automatic first.
The head referee is holding up a 2.
What I'm also confused as to the spot of the ball, because it was 1st and 21. A 15, that looks like 2nd and 4.
Yeah.
So unless it was 15 yards
from the spot.
From the spot of the foul. Check that, okay.
Which was about where the run ended for Kimsel, which I think was a 2-yard gain. So,
right.
Makes sense.
The math is mathing, as they say. So the ball's at the 48 now, back in Tiger territory. And Marshalik to Kimsel, and Kimsel's up over the 45 for a first down.
And that's a big one there for Kimsel. Not a lot of space in the middle, but didn't need a whole lot to get the first down. Gets a nice 5-yard gain there. And the Red Tornadoes, drive that looked like it may have been doomed with the penalties to start. They got a fresh set of downs.
Those penalties tend to cut both ways. Now it's Marshalik to throw, and he's under pressure. He rolls out to his right, and he's got Delaney wide open, who gets his feet in bounds for another Big Red first down.
Yeah, Delaney doing the sideline drill over there, looking like an NFL receiver. He only needs 1 here in high school, but he got 2.
He's going to put the Red Tornadoes inside the 30, about the 27. And the Tigers weren't quite ready. Marshalik fakes the screen to Delaney. It's a handoff up the middle to Kimsel, but not much, maybe 2 to the 25.
Yeah. Yeah, you see again, this, Red Tornadoes, they start to feel it a little bit, get a little bit of momentum. They're up on that ball quick, and they're getting that snap off very quick.
Get a brief officials timeout there, as it's number 43, Williams, is going to head to the sideline. Looked like maybe just an equipment issue.
Yeah, Williams has had a big game so far, Jim.
Has.
Knocked down a couple passes, blocked the punt.
And there the Red Tornadoes do what they do.
Yes, they do.
At the most opportune times often. They'll employ the hard count, and they'll get a free 5 from the Tigers.
Yeah, that's, again, that I'm thankful that they were able to do that this week, because it just continues to prove me. They get that at least 1 time a week so far. Yeah. Stemming back even into last season, it seems like at least once a week they'll get a free 5 yards on a hard count. Marshalik does a really good job. Spears did it last year, a really good job. Just the inflection in your voice gets you a free 5 yards.
Just outside of the red zone. Kimsel off the right side, and he'll get inside the red zone. He'll be close to a first down. Wait for the official signal, but I think he may have enough.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice cut upfield there from Kimsel. I think he's going to be short, though.
Got another official's timeout, and I believe they're going to send a second Tiger to the sideline with what, again, just appear to be equipment issues.
Yeah. Yeah, this time it's number 15, Joey Yankowski. And, you know, Red Tornadoes, if they want to run the ball up the middle, this will be the time. Yankowski's been doing a great job in there with Fedorov. But with him off the field, might have a little bit more space.
3rd and a yard. It's a quick out to Belichick, and it's low and away, incomplete. So that'll be 4th down for the Red Tornadoes, and we'll see what Coach Dara has in his bag of tricks here. Midway through the 3rd quarter, I should say.
And you know, Jim, even though that ball falls incomplete, again, that's not a terrible throw from Marshalik. You put that ball in a position where if anybody's catching it, it's your receiver. You know, that's not going to get intercepted and taken the other way.
Marshalik, Kimzel. It's going to be close.
Real close, Jim.
Closer than I thought. I think he has it.
Looked like he kind of got down super low, and I think he was able to squeeze forward.
We're waiting for the head official to make a call.
We might get a measurement. Yep.
That's what we're going to get. Our 2nd of the night. My goodness. Our average is going up of measurements per game. But, yeah, it looked like the surge was there, Dan, and then the Tigers just stood it up.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. And, we keep talking about it, that the interior of that Tiger defense is tough. I mean, you do have the most decorated tackler in Tigers history, manning the linebacking core there. But they do a really good job just kind of standing tall when they need to. But we'll see how this one goes.
And the Red Tornadoes did not get it. They'll turn it over on downs. Wow. My goodness.
Wow.
What a stand by the Tigers.
By a chain link. That was very close.
That's tough.
Well, and Kimsel kind of went over the pile there, too. He fell forward. So you would have thought that he was able to get it. But great job there by the Tiger defense. As you mentioned, Jim, standing up and getting that turnover. So they get the score, and now they get to stop.
And so as we see the Red Tornado defense out here, pay attention to some changes. Because if you look on the sideline, Dan, number 12, Lukuski, is on the sideline without his pads.
Yeah.
It'll be Andrews off the right side. Pick up maybe 3.
Yeah, that's like a rotational thing. I mean, obviously you're going to have somebody filling that spot, but Morgani now at the corner, vacated by Lukuski. And I think you're going to see
it's Kimzel has it's hard.
Kimzel's usually in the defensive backfield. Morgani was the outside linebacker, so I'm just trying to see who shifted to that position.
Well, it's been Delaney and Kimzel as these outside linebackers now, and it's somewhat hard as it's Andrews off the right side, and he'll have a 1st down and more. Good tough run. Number 15, Clokus for the Red Tornadoes, down in the backfield.
Yeah.
But what's been interesting about that, though, Dan, the Red Tornado defense, it's hard because of the way the Tigers run their offense.
Yeah.
Because it is so tight.
Right.
So it very well could be Morganti and Delaney at the corner, still Belichick and Kimzel in the defensive backfield, but you wind up with Morganti and Delaney on the same side of the field because of the way the Tigers operate.
Yeah, that's very true, Jim. I just going to have to take a closer look here.
While we're checking on Clokus again, want to make sure wherever you are out there, we welcome you into our broadcast tonight. We're happy to have you here. You can find us on YouTube, and you head over to redtornadofootball.com and check us out there, as well as tonight we have the privilege of being on WNEP Plus, so we're very excited about that. Again, we talked a little bit about WKMC TV being a student-run TV studio, and I think as such, it would only be right, Dan, talk about who those students are.
Absolutely.
So tonight, our student crew, our director down in the truck, that's Hannah Forspring. Our graphics is Isabella Jacook. Our field and sideline cam is Lucas Lubinsky and Dexter Hine. Our press box cam up beside us here has been Landon Musser and Cole Kornaski. The main cam is Sam Zatney and Gavin Lubeski. They're up on top. Sideline reporter, you met her a few times, the photographer, Alyssa Tresker. Our photographer is Ava Scavery. Replay and coaches tape is Ava Raup, Brinley Ballier, and Alex Trevsker. And as Clokus is helped off the field, we also don't want to forget that we are, the studio is led by Director of WKMC TV, Mr. Steve Sakaitis. Our Technology Director is Mr. Gary Trefsker. And again, I'm Jim, he's Dan, and we've got our good friend Jose Gonzalo on the sideline. That's who's bringing you this broadcast on the 4th week of the high school football season here, straight out of Mount Carmel, Jazz Diminick Field at the Silver Bowl, where the winningest team in the state of Pennsylvania, the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes, 901 program wins over 132 years, lead the 7-time defending Class 2A state champion Southern Columbia area Tigers 7-6 with 6 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And it's Williams right up the middle. And a good job there by the Big Red, Miller and Kimsel, with Keegan Brown in there for support.
On the last drive, they were able to pop that quick dive there for Williams for the 6 points there that the Tigers were able to get. Red Tornadoes say, not this time. That defensive front does a good job. Well, actually, secondary did a good job of coming up and filling.
Andrews off the right side. He gets strung out. Can he get the corner? Not quite. Good job by the Red Tornado defense there, stopping him after a short gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, and again, 3rd down. The obvious passing down. Haven't seen it a whole lot from Coach Dara. Wondering if this is a time where you say, hey, let's take our inside linebackers that you got with Clokus on the sideline. You've got Ben Miller and Keegan Brown. Maybe bring a little bit of extra pressure. Try and put some pressure on Hockenbrock.
It's fair, that's a fair point. The Red Tornadoes have tried all night to just get pressure with their down linemen. But on 3rd and 8, Hockenbrock to throw. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's got Brown, and it's a good ball to Malakowski. Great coverage by Kimsel. I think his hand was in there, and Malakowski ripped it away.
Yeah, they were hand fighting for that football, but I mean that's a strike from Hockenbrock. It hit Malakowski right in the belly, and even though Kimsel's hand was in there, Malakowski's able to pull it away before taking a big hit there, but ultimately converting that 3rd down.
So the Tigers have kind of made their bones a little bit on 3rd down tonight. The Williams touchdown was 3rd and 9. That completion was on 3rd and long. They had the screen pass to Gallagher early in the 2nd quarter. And now it'll be Williams off the right side, and he's got nowhere to go. He's still on his feet, and he's going to lose more yards for the trouble. There were multiple Red Tornadoes that had him stopped up. Everybody in red had a shot of Williams on that one, and it's going to be a big loss for the Tigers.
And Jim, as a coach, you don't want to fault your player for effort, but at a certain point, you keep getting pushed backwards, even though you're not getting wrapped up. Sometimes it's better just go down, because that you regain your forward progress. Now you've lost all those yards because of the rally from the Red Tornado defense.
Lost about 9 on the carry, so it's 2nd and 19. Hockenbrock to throw. He's got a good clean pocket, and he's got Kissinger past the initial line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and about 8.
Yeah, and you mentioned it 3 plays ago, Jim, 2 plays ago, that this is where the Tigers have made their bones with this third and long conversions.
Well, and as much as we like to say, it's an important 3rd down and those kinds of things, there's a reason 3rd down is called the money down.
Right. You're absolutely right. And we'll see if the Red Tornado defense is able to get a stop here.
It's Garcia who makes one man miss in the backfield, still on his feet, fighting. And he may have the 1st down that he had no business getting.
No, he should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage, Jim. Just a great individual effort is going to leave them just short, I think.
That's those darn chain links. That's maybe a couple more than the Red Tornadoes missed theirs by, but
the difference between Garcia getting stopped at the line of scrimmage and Garcia getting stopped where he did is that now this is a no-brainer for Coach Jim Roth. They're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, at the line of scrimmage, it's a punt based on how your defense is playing.
Yeah.
But here it's probably a Hockenbrock sneak. Nope. It's an Andrews 1st down over the right side into Red Tornado territory. I should say deeper in the Red Tornado territory.
Yeah.
Down to about the 42, and the Red Tornado will will swap out the beef they sent in.
Good to see number 15, Clokus, heading back out there on the field for the Red Tornadoes. Went down with that injury earlier on in the drive. Good to see him back out there. So that's good news.
So in a fast-moving third quarter, we're under 3 minutes remaining. Hockenbrock's going to throw. Karicki gets a stick. Now it's incomplete. It's intercepted. So there's going to be a hold called against the Tigers there on Karicki, who delivered a shot to Hockenbrock that had the ball come up a little bit short, and Blitchick makes the play of the night so far, turning away the Tiger threat.
Yeah, and that is a huge play for the Red Tornadoes.
And so there was a weird hush that came across the crowd as I think everybody waited to see, was there a second flag?
Right.
Did I miss something? But a great play by Blitchick. And it'll be 1st and 10, Mount Carmel at a, we'll see where they're going to mark this ball, Dan.
And Jim.
Inside the 10, I think.
That is going to be Hockenbrock's first interception of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the sophomore has played with tremendous poise, but I mentioned it earlier on in the drive. I thought maybe if the Red Tornadoes were able to get some pressure, they might be able to rattle him a little bit. Still, I don't think you're going to see the young man rattled, but enough pressure to alter the throw, force it into double coverage there, and a big play.
And a problem there for the Red Tornadoes, a miscommunication in the backfield. The running back went one way, Marshalluk went the other. So he's going to keep it himself and get back to the line of scrimmage. But Dan, to your point before, that Mad Max Karicki was able to deliver that hit and that pressure while being held.
Yeah. I mean, the kid, we've talked about it. They talked about Max Karicki last year as a freshman being one of the strongest kids on the team. And now he's got another year of growth. I mean, he's the tied for second lead in tackles, and he brings so much energy, Jim. You see when the Red Tornadoes get a big stop, he's the first one running off the sidelines, getting the crowd involved, getting everybody pumped up. He plays like a veteran out there, and he's still an underclassman.
It's number 57 for the Tigers, who's up and walking off the field. And while we never speculate on injuries, it's good to see everybody up and walking off. Take a look at how quickly folks return, and then you wonder whether or not we start to get into a situation where it's cramps.
Yeah. We've also got a Red Tornado down.
Yeah, I haven't seen the jersey yet, so I let it go.
Yeah. But that's I'm trying to. Okay, and that's
maybe if we do our process. Let's not pretend.
Yeah.
Let's not try to say how we're deducing this.
We get the assist.
We got the assist from our great team that it's Karicki, 21 Cooper Karicki. So he's up. And he's walking off the field under his own power. Again, hopefully we see him again soon as well.
Yeah, Jim, it's something that I anticipated happening in this game. And again, we don't speculate, but this week in general, including tonight, has been significantly warmer than it was last week on Friday night. So it's kind of an anomaly. We're getting later in the season and the games are getting warmer, but we. You may see some cramping and some hydration issues at this point of the game in a hard-fought battle.
So it winds up being a 2-yard loss for Marshalluk, but again, he made a heck of an effort to get back to that point. But dangerous spot for the Red Tornadoes here. And he tries to throw like a back shoulder fade almost to Adams.
Yeah.
Incomplete. So now it's going to be 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and now, Jim, 3rd and long here in your own territory. Deep in your own territory. You don't want Karicki kicking out of your own end zone, but you also don't want to take a risk of a long drop back on a 3rd and long. So it's a tough decision here for Coach Dara.
Well, and I will say, seeing Karicki come to the sideline at least gives a little idea that the Red Tornadoes are at least want to show that they might throw the football here.
And I think the Red Tornadoes are going to have to take a timeout here.
And they do, Dan. There seemed to be a little confusion there of what they wanted to do. So with 2:11 remaining in the third quarter and a 7-6 lead, Coach Darrell will take timeout as the Red Tornadoes face a 3rd and 12 from their own 7-yard line.
Yeah, and again, I tried to kind of get out in front of it there. In that precarious position, you're that in-between area where you don't want a deep drop back in case there's pressure. You don't want to turn the ball over in this area, but you also don't want to not take a chance and then have your punter, who has already had one punt blocked tonight, punting out of his own end zone in a 1-point game. So I think it's a smart decision by Coach Dara. I think that's why there was so much discussion, but I think it's the smart call by Coach Dara, taking this timeout and getting everybody squared away for this big third down here.
Your defense has done a lot tonight. You don't want to put them in this bad of a spot, but you have to have some confidence that, hey, if you can just get a couple yards here and have Krikke punt it away, your defense can do what they've done.
Yeah, because the punts Krikke has gotten away tonight have been tremendous. They've been really good punts.
So it's Adams and Bailey to the left, Delaney and Belichick to the right, but the Red Tornadoes are going to bring Delaney in a little bit tighter. Kimsel's the sole man in the backfield. Marshalik's going to throw. He's under pressure, and he goes down. It's Fedorov's going to have him right at the goal line. So things only went from bad to worse on that drive, and now Kricke's not just going to be punting from his end zone, but he's going to be at that back end line.
Yeah, and Jim, and that's the danger. You try to go for that first down. You take that long drop back where, longer developing routes, you run into that. And the Tigers bring the pressure at the right time. And now I'm expecting to see like a max protect punt here from the Tornadoes.
And on the other side, the Tigers realize how close they already are, and they want to be able to return this if they can.
Yeah.
And so they've gone back to Garcia and Andrews back deep. But the pressure came off the left side of the Tiger defense, and that's Chase Williams, and he's there again.
Yes, he is.
It's a good snap, and Krikke does a good job getting it out quick, but the Tigers have some room. Andrews off the left side. He's got some space. He's got more space. He's still on his feet. He's inside the 10.
But I think we're going to have an offsides penalty.
And there's a lot of penalties thrown because the head official threw a late flag as well. And I'm not sure what's going on here. We'll wait and let it all sort itself out. Again, we've got at least 2 different infractions.
Yeah, one at the snap.
Yep. And I wouldn't venture a guess as to what they are at this point. Now here we go. We should get an explanation here as the head official comes out.
Wish we could get him mic'd up.
There's going to be a false start against the Red Tornadoes, which is going to be declined. So it tells me they're both against the Red Tornadoes.
Yep.
And a personal foul against, against the Tigers.
Oh,
so are these?
So the Tigers decline the offsides penalty and gain possession, and they're going to take the 15 yards from where they returned the punt to. Seems to be the only thing that makes sense at this point.
Honestly, and it makes a lot of sense. I completely understand. Why run the risk of a problem with a punt return or anything like that if 15 yards from the 9 is still going to be at the 24.
Yeah, and realistically, the offside or the false start penalty on the Red Tornadoes is a moot point because they're already punting from their own 1.
Right. Yep. So Dan, I don't like to give you credit, but I think you assessed that absolutely correctly. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers from the 24. Again, they trail the Red Tornadoes here 7-6 with 56 seconds remaining in the third quarter, but as they snap the ball for the first play of this drive, they're already knocking on the door.
Yeah, they get pushed out of the red zone, but they're right on the outskirts of the red zone here.
Andrews, right side.
Into
still chugging. Down to about the 20. Give him a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it's good job there. And I like what the Tigers are doing here, Jim. Offensively, it seemed like Andrews, I mean, outside of the long Joey Williams touchdown run, Andrews has been your guy.
Yeah.
He's been the kind of the spark on your offense. He's been the guy getting you the tough yards when you've needed them. So just keep feeding them.
In the first 3 games of the season, Andrews had 19 carries. He might have 19 tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be close to it, if not.
And it was Williams right up the middle. A nice tackle by Kimzel, but again, that quick hitter to Williams, where they had success before, it bears fruit yet again. First down, first and goal for the Tigers.
Yeah, and with all that motion, again, that's, everybody's, and with the success that Andrews has been having, using him kind of as a decoy. You hit it to Williams and you carry out the fake.
Here at the Silver Bowl, it's 7-6 Red Tornadoes with the Tigers on the doorstep. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the final frame.
Visit us at one of our 3 locations in Mount Carmel, New Media, and our new loan office in Chinook Dam. Find us on the web at umb.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Energy Controls North, we are your trusted choice for total building control solutions. We specialize in building automation systems, ensuring efficiency and sustainability. Our state-of-the-art surveillance and access control systems protect your facility or campus 24/7. And our fire alarm systems provide reliable safety and peace of mind. Serving K-12 education, higher education, government, hospitals, manufacturing, and hotels and resorts. Energy Controls North. Expertise you can trust, solutions you can depend on.
Welcome back to the Silver Bowl. Start the fourth quarter, the Tigers trail 7-6. But on first and goal from the 9, they're going to hand it to Andrews, who'll get down maybe the 6 or 7 yard line. In what's been a really competitive contest all night.
Yeah, I mean, this game has been just a battle of wills. I mean, both scoring plays have been long plays, but in between those 2 touchdowns, there have been just, down hard, grinded out football.
And the ball's on the ground. Andrews falls on it. The Tigers have trouble with the exchange, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, and that's very fortunate from the Tigers to be able to get that one back. And we'll see.
Again, as we get ready.
comes out and Kissinger comes in. Kissinger, the leading receiver for this Tigers team.
Hockenbrock. It's Gallagher. Gallagher's going to try to get the edge. The Red Tornadoes can string him out. Kimzel knocks him out of bounds for a loss. Huge play by Kimzel as they tried to get Gallagher around the edge, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, and I think he's going to end up losing about a yard. So this is going to be a huge fourth down play. But we see number 39 head in there.
Tigers are going to kick.
Shadle.
Tigers will kick. To the best of my knowledge, Shadle has not made a kick this season. Now he hasn't attempted one from all the stats that I can see. But he certainly has the leg from what we saw in warm-ups. This will be about a 25-yard field goal, so not much more than an extra point. And we're going to get a whistle before we get any further. We're going to send Shadle to the sideline.
And yeah, and now if this is an equipment issue, I think Coach Ross is going to have to burn a timeout to be able to bring Shadle back in to try and kick this.
Yeah, that's the 3rd different equipment issue the officials have called. And again, now Coach Dara is also trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And now Fedorov comes in. And so.
Wonder if.
And now Coach Dara calls a timeout as they didn't have the right defensive alignment. But to your point now, given the timeout, can Shadle go back in and kick?
He should be able to, Jim. I wasn't sure what the Tigers were going to do exactly, though, because I still saw I saw Malakowski and Kissinger. Now they are receivers, but they were in the backfield. So this is an interesting sequence of events.
Now, here's the question. Can you find Shadle on the sideline quickly and see if he's still there? Yeah, I think I got him, and I think I just saw Hockenbrock walk back into the huddle. So this sequence of events seems to have changed Coach Roth's mind.
And we'll see if it pays off for him.
Fedorov heads to the sideline. What a turn of events here. Either way, if the Tigers are able to score and have the opportunity to go up, 5, 6, or 7, depending on the choices, instead of 2.
Yeah.
Or if the Red Tornadoes get a stop and maintain a lead.
Oh.
Nope. Hockenbrock is going to kick.
Yes, he is.
Now, Kissinger's the holder, so the Red Tornadoes need to be careful here as well. It's a high snap. Hockenbrock gets it down, and it's no good. It's no good.
And credit to Ben Miller, who blocked the extra point earlier on in the game from the Tigers, had the pressure, led up at the perfect time. I think he affected the kick. He didn't get a hand on it, but he also didn't get a hand on the kicker. He was able to kind of contort his body to not run into the kicker and give up that roughing penalty, which can be a game changer.
So now with the lead in hand, the Red Tornadoes take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, because again, the Red Tornadoes will pick up some additional yards there because they'll take over where the ball was kicked from, not where it was snapped from.
Yep, and now, Jim, this is a situation where you see this Red Tornado team, they don't play not to lose. They play to win. We're going to see them looking to score again.
And to Dan's point, Marshall looks for Adams right away. It falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Now that route was well covered, and I think because of that is why the ball went where it did. Marshall saw the outside linebacker inside, right where Adams would have wanted that ball, and threw it away from him. So good job just protecting the football at that point.
So again, 10:37 left here. Red Tornadoes lead 7-6. Bailey will move from the left to the right, but it's Kricky off the right side, and there's just nowhere for him to go, fight as he might. He's going to lose, it looks like, at least a yard, maybe 2, based on where the official's standing.
Yeah, and now just that quickly, Jim, not even 20 seconds, and the Red Tornadoes are looking at a 3rd and long.
Well, and we've talked about it before, and commentators and analysts ad nauseum have talked about it at all levels of football for all time. The no-huddle offense cuts both ways.
Yes, it does.
When it's moving, and when it's not, you're turning the ball back over to the defense pretty quickly. But the Red Tornadoes on 3rd and 11 have a shot to keep the drive alive. Marshall rolls to his right. What a catch by Belich, incomplete.
Oh, wow.
He was double covered by, I believe it was Zachman, and I'm not sure who else was Dan.
I think it was Kissinger over there
Kissinger?
as well. Yeah.
But a good ball by Marshall, where only Belich could have caught it. It's incomplete. So we'll see Kricky to punt yet again to Andrews and Garcia.
Yeah, and again, the Red Tornado punt coverage team here needs to be aware. Number 43.
Good snap. It's a short punt. It's high. See if the Red Tornadoes take a bounce. It does, right into the arms of Garcia, who's going to try to return it. Nowhere to go. He's going to lose a couple yards. So good job by Kricky. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers at the 47-yard line. Again, here at the Silver Bowl, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Bob Bibbs Beierschmidt and family. We talked a little about the Beierschmidt family and their long-term commitment to education here in the Mount Carmel area, so we appreciate everything that family has done. And we are happy you're with us, whether you're with us on YouTube, whether you're here in the stadium listening while you watch the game, whether you're on WNEP Plus or in Four Springs Garage, wherever you might be, we're happy to have you. We got 9:44 left in what's going to be a good time. Hockenbrock keeps it himself. There's that naked boot. He picks up some yardage. Miller will drag him out of bounds. Morgani will finish him off, but he gets about 7.
Yeah, that time that play took a little less time to develop, and that's why Hockenbrock was able to kind of get the edge there and get the gain that he did. The first time that they ran that naked boot took a little bit longer to develop in the backfield, and they were able to string it out, the Red Tornado defense.
2nd and 4, call it 6. Andrews off the right side, and he's going to run as hard as he can, but too many red jerseys there. He'll get a gain of 2. Bring up 3rd and about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, we continue to talk about Andrews. He's not the biggest guy on the field, but he is fast, and when he meets contact from the defense, he is going at full speed. He's not afraid of the contact. He doesn't shy away from it, and a lot of the times that proves to work out for him because he's able to at least fall forward and get an additional yard or 2. Now we see some beef go in there for the Red Tornadoes on this 3rd and short.
And it's Williams, and Williams will have, I think, forward progress is going to give him the first down, I believe.
Yeah.
Looks like he got to about the 43. I think he needed the 44.5, or excuse me, the 43.5.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the official signal. There it is. 1st and 10 Tigers. And Dan, you talked about Andrews running tough, but also being quick. You know, they list him at about 5'8", 160. And there's a dude in red tonight, where number 21 that goes about 5'8", 160. I think runs pretty tough and also has the added advantage of being one of the quicker guys out there.
Yeah, very, very similar backs, and that's why they both are very successful.
Garcia gets up inside. He's going to be kind of twisted up like a pretzel.
Yeah, it was Al Bailey initially, again, from that backside. As soon as Garcia was able to cut it off, you see them trying to fix Garcia's jersey there. Al Bailey grabbed a hold of that shoulder and did not let go and kept that to a short gain.
2nd and 8, just outside the 40-yard line. 7.5 left in the 4th quarter. 7-6 Big Red. Andrews, right side. Clokus, Bailey, Karicki. Gain of maybe 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, now we'll see again. You know, every 3rd down on this drive turns out to be a big one, Jim. But now in these 3rd and medium to 3rd and short situations, I think they're more run situations for the Tigers, even though those 3rd and longs in the first half and into the second half were more passing situations that they were able to convert.
Andrews.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to depend on the spot.
I think he might be just short, Jim, but it's going to bring up a 4th and very, very short.
They need, again, they need about 34.5 to pick up the first down, and it's the 34. So here we are again, Dan.
Yeah.
Another 4th and less than a yard situation. Sheganowski and Kynes heading in for the Big Red.
And we see Fedorov and that's number 4, Talon Pyatt, go in there for a little extra size there on that front.
And that's Talon they gave the ball to. He was lined up behind Hockenbrock, and he'll have the first down near the 30.
Yeah, Talon does a good job of not forcing that. He knows that, yes, the quickest way to a destination is a straight line, but that's also sometimes the path less traveled is the better route. He takes a little hop step to the left and is able to get 3 instead of the half a yard that he needed.
Williams up the middle, pick up a few. Again, and that play is almost, the best word I can think of, Dan, is sudden.
Yeah.
It's such a sudden handoff that he gets 3 or 4 yards before the Red Tornadoes know he has the ball.
Yeah, he's so close behind Hockenbrock that when that handoff happens, it's almost immediate. It's like he's taking the snap himself. And Jim, not only are the Tigers putting together a drive here, but they are eating so much clock.
Andrews is getting strung out. Delaney's going to force him back inside, and Clokus and Miller, actually Clokus and Bailey are going to be in there on the stop.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who it was that got a hold of the back of Andrews' jersey, just stalled him up just enough.
Now I can't quite tell, but I do believe someone is down on the sideline.
Yeah, and I think it's to see. Now we see the Tigers staff come in. I believe it is a Tiger down.
It's not Andrews. While he carried the football, I see him making his way across the field. But this young man is up already, and that's 54 Jude Bremigan, excuse me.
Yeah, and Bremigan has been a huge contributor on that offensive and defensive line for the Tigers.
I believe Jude was All-State last season, and the Tigers didn't have him last week, so we're certainly happy to get him back. And I'll certainly be happy to get him back on the field, hopefully before too long as he jogs off, helmet in hand.
Yeah, always good to see him hustle off under his own power. That's great to see. But again, now back on the field here, another big third down, Jim. I can't stress it enough how big these third downs are.
I think you might be able to.
I try to.
So Jose mentioned at the half about the time of possession, and my goodness, the Tigers have had the ball the entire second half.
Yeah.
So that disparity has only grown. I feel like most of this game has happened in the Red Tornado half of the field. Hockenbrock to throw. He wants that out route. Morgani's there, and it's just outside of his reach. Fortunately, it's outside of Kissinger's reach as well, and now it's 4th and 6.
Jim, it appeared that Morgani just mistimed his jump. It kind of, got ahead of himself there, got himself up in the air, and was, got underneath that route, but did a really good job and did enough to not necessarily alter the throw, but alter the vision of Kissinger, so Kissinger wasn't able to reel it in over his head.
Given where we are in the field, 4.5 left, I think if the Red Tornadoes get a stop here, it's going to be loud enough in here, you'll hear the Silver Bowl at Four Springs Garage. Hockenbrock, the throw, he goes down! It's Kricky on the sack!
What a huge
blows it up with
play.
a sack. It's 1st and 10, Big Red.
And Jim, if there's anybody on that Red Tornado defensive front that you cannot lose in a situation like that, it's Max Kricky. He's quick, he's strong, and he's making plays all day. And none bigger than that sack. He was in the backfield as fast as the snap was.
Well, and I think, and that's an interesting play, and you check the replay if you can. Hockenbrock wants to throw that ball out quickly, so he doesn't really take a drop.
No, one step, and Kricky was on him.
So now it becomes the clock, but the Red Tornadoes can help themselves by picking up a few first downs, which they have not been able to do here in the second half. It's Marshalik. He's going to hand it to Kimzel, and Kimzel's going to get a yard.
And he's going to be down on the play.
So 4:18 left, 2nd and 9 again. It's been a heck of a ball game, and Dan, one thing, we got a heck of a ball game here, and that's kind of kept our attention, but I know I was interested in a lot of different games going on around the state, or more locally, I suppose, as we kind of went through this tonight. So we're going to take a look at our good old friend score stream.
Yeah, I'd like to see that Shamokin and Jersey Shore score for sure, Jim.
So the Red Tornadoes and the Tigers are at 7. Oh wait, never mind. You know that one.
Yeah.
You know that one. Danville, Red Tornadoes opponent in 3 weeks. They're currently up 47-8 on Central Columbia. That game's in the 4th quarter.
You're going to leave me in suspense here with Shamokin, aren't you?
Southern Lehigh, 36-0 over our friends the Spartans over in North Schuylkill.
Okay.
Lewisburg, up 33-20 on Mount Carmel's opponent in 2 weeks, Hughesville.
Okay.
Montoursville, next week's opponent, up 27-20 on Mifflinburg, who just continues to be a tough out.
Yeah, they're 0-3 at this point, but they have been they haven't looked. I mean, they look tough.
And in the 4th quarter, the Jersey Shore Bulldogs lead the Shamokin Indians 28-27.
Wow.
2nd and 9, we're back. Kimsel got off the field under his own power. Kricky in the backfield. Delaney split out to the wide side. Blitchick to the short side. Bailey in that kind of slot back spot he's been in all night.
And you see Marshalik just watching that play clock wind as the game clock does the same.
And he's going to throw, and he's got Delaney, who had a cushion. Delaney makes Reamer miss. Delaney's got some space. He's got to keep it going. Into Tiger territory, the biggest play of the night outside of the touchdown.
Yeah.
Also comes from Delaney. A big first down when the Red Tornadoes need to flip the field, if nothing else here.
And Jim, you are absolutely right. The Red Tornadoes now in Tiger territory for what seems like, I'm not sure if it's definitive, but it seems like the first time this second half.
I think so, and I had half a mind before. Wasn't sure if the Red Tornadoes had a first down in the second half prior to that.
They may not have, but that, I mean, you're right, Jim. None bigger than that. And again, that clock continues to tick.
We'll be under 3:20 by the time the Red Tornadoes snap this one. And it's Marshalik, and it's Kricky. And Kricky will bounce outside, inside, stay on his feet, inside the 35 to the 33. And that's going to bring up second and about 2.
And Jim, now it becomes, you know, a very, this is a coach's battle at this point, because now you look at the scoreboard. Coach Jim Roth still has all 3 of his timeouts left for this half. I think maybe he wants to wait until third down. If the Red Tornadoes get a third down, you may see him take a timeout and, you know, set up a big third down stop, and then maybe try to hold on to one for an offensive drive.
Marshalik to throw. He's under pressure. He's eluding the rush. He's still on his feet. He's got to get the ball, and he's looking for Blichik. High and wide, but what a play by Marshalik to keep that alive.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I mean, you can't be any closer to somebody without making a tackle than 2 Tiger defenders there who applied tremendous pressure. But, you know, now with the third down, Coach Roth doesn't have to use a timeout.
Well, even, and to your point, Dan, give the Tigers credit there. I believe it was Martino and Jankowski, the linebacker, that were kind of just shadowing Marshalik.
Yeah.
So even once he evaded the rush, he didn't have the opportunity to tuck the ball and run.
Yeah, he had to throw off platform a little bit as well, which is why that sailed high.
So 3rd and 3, the Red Tornadoes need this first down, and Kricky gives it to him. Down to the 26-yard line, 1st and 10, Mount Carmel. 2:23 left in this one.
And you see the Red Tornado faithful starting to feel it here.
Well, it helps it's such an educated fan base. The football IQ is through the charts, off the charts here in Mount Carmel.
Yeah, everybody knew how big that first down was, because now you can continue to watch that clock tick. No 2-minute warning here in high school, so that's going to tick under 2 minutes here before the snap of this football.
And you have to think the result of this play, if it's anything that doesn't stop the clock, and naturally, Coach Roth will use his first time out.
Yeah.
It's Kricky, and it's to about the 25, and there's the timeout.
Yes, and now this is a situation where you're telling all of your backs 4 points of contact, add a 5th one in there with a second hand to get that ball and continue to just maintain possession.
Well, you see Kimsel's going to run into the huddle to spell Kricky. And if you remember from last week, late in the game, I believe, Dan, you were advocating for the Red Tornadoes to try a pass to Delaney. And Coach Dara turned around and handed it to Kimsel, and Kimsel picked up the first down that ended up setting up, I think that iced the game because the Red Tornadoes had the lead at that point.
I don't think that's right. I don't think I was advocating past the. But realistically, if you were, which you were, it's fine. But that's always that's never a bad idea though, with how explosive Delaney is. But you've got other guys on that offense that are able to kind of ice a game. And we'll see who on this Red Tornado team is the one this week if they're able to do it.
Minute 45 here for the Big Red. They lead 7-6. 2nd and 9 at the Tiger 26. Hard count for Marshalik. Tigers show a little motion, but not enough.
And again, that came from the second level, so that's not gonna be enough. The 4 down linemen do a really good job of standing tough.
Marshalik's gonna throw. Nope, it's Kim's. Excuse me, it's Kimzel. That's how good Marshalik's after handoff action was.
And that might be the one, Jim.
My goodness.
We'll see. Does Coach Roth use a timeout?
It's going to be about a minute left when the Big Red snap this football. So watch this, and watch Marshalik's action. It's so good. And Kimzel, again, we talked about Cricky had the flashy numbers last week.
Yeah.
Cricky had the 200 and what was the number? 237 yards. Kimzel had 17 carries, and Marshalik takes a knee
with about 10 seconds left on the play clock as well, Jim. And Coach Roth is going to use his timeout, another one of his timeouts.
So there's a minute 10 left. It's 2nd and 10 from the 12. Again, here at the Silver Bowl, we're having a great night. It's been a blast. It's a beautiful night for football here. Again, week 4, we're in central Pennsylvania. This is the District 11 Pennsylvania Heartland Athletic Conference Division II matchup between the 7-time defending champs in AA, the Southern Columbia Area Tigers, and the Mount Carmel Area Red Tornadoes, who are the winningest football team in the state of Pennsylvania, 901 program wins, and the 7th in the nation.
And again, this is just another game where, I mean, you have two teams in, we keep talking about it, in similar situations. They both come into this game 2-1. Nobody wants to go to 500. Nobody wants to drop to 2-2. And what a hard-fought battle it has been to this point. And we'll see the Red Tornadoes going to take another knee here.
Do the math, Dan. Does this work?
Well, Coach Roth is going to use his other timeout.
Marshalik's got to take a little bit of time off. And now he takes the knee back at the 20. So when you take a look tomorrow morning at Marshalik's rushing numbers, keep those in mind.
Yeah. Now, Jim, here's my question. Does that go down as a sack?
That is a good question.
I don't think it does, because it is I guess the kneel down would be a designed run play. He's not looking to throw it. But now you see one little change here. You've got number 4, that's Pyatt, goes in there, and he's going to be at the nose, Jim. So he's going to be in there to try and affect this snap.
He's going to try to make Gavin Demko's life miserable here.
Yes.
On the snap. And it's a good time, Dan. You bring up the snap. It's a really good opportunity for the Big Red. Coach Dara, well, we see Coach Dara pleading with the officials. He's pointing at the clock.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is he trying to get that play clock bumped up to 40?
Well, I think it should be at the end of this play, but with the timeout, they're going to get, once the referee whistles, the ball's back in play, as he's about to do.
But again, we just want to, well, we'll see what happens here with Marshalik. He's going to go down back at the 24. So the Tigers are out of timeout, so this is going to run for a while. I mean, it's not enough time.
No. It's going to be
so the
20,
Tigers are going to get the ball back
about
unless
20 seconds left.
Yeah, so kind of interesting management here, clock management here at the end of the game. But I think it's worth, as we talked about, as we see Marshalik try to take those knees. On the Big Red side, that offensive line has just been tremendous tonight, and they have been for most of the season. And so again, when we talk about that, we're talking about Jagger Delaney, we're talking about Noah Shimko, Gavin Demko, Jeremiah Sheganowski, Seth Spears. Those are the 5 guys that are doing most of that.
Yeah.
And so there's 21 seconds left. Coach Dara used his final timeout of the game. It's 4th and 22. So again, aside of something that I've never seen before, the Tigers are going to get the ball back.
Jim, now I'm wondering here if Coach Dara sends out 4 wide receivers and tells Marshalik to throw the ball as far as he can.
Yeah, I mean that makes the most sense, right?
Yeah.
I think I completely
you don't want to take the knee, because you know that the Tigers are going to be bringing pressure.
Yep. Yeah, and I think, taking the knee is going to take 3 seconds off the clock, and you're going to give the Tigers even more yards. You've already kind of donated 9 to them.
Or maybe get it out to Delaney on a screen and see if he can run around for a little while.
as we said, the Tornadoes come out. They look like they're going to go fairly tight with both Bailey and Karicki there. Now, Bailey and Karicki are both on the right side, Dan, and Delaney's out there too. So you wonder, to your point, are they just looking at a little pressure, a little support for... Delaney got behind him.
Did
he catch that football? Is he inbounds?
But that's...
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, Jim.
That is as big of a catch as you're going to see. The Red Tornadoes had a real problem at the end of this quarter with how that clock was handled, and Delaney bailed everybody out.
Yes, he did. Now,
everybody out.
Now, with that, I believe he caught that ball and then went out of bounds, so the Red Tornadoes will have to do it one more time. Take the kneel down and take it home.
Dan, that was 4th and 19 even.
Yeah.
And Marshalik will take a knee, and as the clock runs out, for the 3rd time in as many seasons, the Red Tornadoes will beat the Tigers in the regular season, and unlike other years, this will be the final time the Tigers are going to have that taste in their mouth until next season.
Yeah, they will not see them until next year. And again, this not only a big win for the Red Tornadoes with the fact that they now go to 3-1 and can get the monkey off their back, so to speak. Everybody was worried about Southern Columbia. A lot of people said, "Oh, they're having a down year." That's a tough football team, and the Red Tornadoes showed the grit to stick with it, an early score being the deciding factor.
In 3 of the Red Tornadoes games this season, they've been one-score games that separated a win from a loss.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, the Red Tornadoes have won 2 games by a grand total of 2 points, which for those of you out there that are pretty good at math, that's the lowest number of points that you can win 2 games by.
Yeah, well said, Jim.
And we've got Alyssa down on the field. I know she's trying to track down Coach Dara, as he is going to be over the moon excited with the way his team performed tonight. And she's got Coach Dara. Alyssa, we are ready whenever you are.
Alrighty, congrats on the win, Coach Dara. How did you and the team prepare for this night, and how do you feel about the win in general?
It's a great win, a lot of hard work. We knew we had a really good team, and with this victory tonight, I feel like we're back.
Alrighty, congrats again, and thank you. Jim and Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. We appreciate Coach Dara's time as well. But my goodness, of all the different ways this game could have gone, Dan, 7-6 defensive struggle was not on my bingo card.
No, not even close, Jim. I thought that this was, if anything, it would be a defensive struggle in a negative sense of the term. You know what I mean? That just both defenses struggling to stop the other offense.
Yes.
But no, it was the exact opposite. But I mean, just the grit and the from both sides to never quit in this game. I mean, it was a tremendous bout and a heavyweight battle, back and forth.
And it has been Delaney. I mean, we don't do player of the game or anything like that, but my goodness, that young man would be it. He's got the 68-yard touchdown reception that goes ahead, and it's the margin of victory.
Yeah.
It's the only score the Red Tornadoes have on the night. And again, what I'll be curious to see, and I know we can get this from Jose, and we can probably talk about it next week, will be that time of possession.
Yeah.
But the question always becomes, Dan, where do these teams go from here? Sometimes it's literally, sometimes it's figuratively.
Yeah.
In this case, literally, the Red Tornadoes are going to head up to Montoursville next week, while the Tigers are going to be home versus Central Columbia. So that's kind of where we're at tonight. But again, more figuratively, I suppose, the Red Tornadoes have to like the trajectory that they're on.
Yes.
And to your point, the grittiness that Coach Dara has in this squad.
Absolutely, Jim.
But I think that probably seems like a good place to wrap up tonight's broadcast. Again, it's been a great night here. The Red Tornadoes defeat the Southern Columbia area Tigers 7-6 in a game that was everything was built up to be and more. If you weren't here, if you weren't watching, I don't know what you were doing tonight. But my goodness, you missed a real classic here in a rivalry full of them. We want to thank tonight's sponsor, Bob Bibbs Beierschmidt and family, for their support. We want to thank WNEP for giving us the opportunity to enjoy ourselves on WNEP Plus and WNEP 2. And, of course, as always, we want to thank each and every one of you out there who spend your Friday nights with us. So I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
For Jose Gonzalez, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast where the Red Tornadoes defeated the Southern Columbia area Tigers 7-6 here at the Silver Bowl. We will see you next week in Montoursville, and we hope you spend your Friday nights with us from here on out. Thanks, and stay safe.